press pause, put the controller down. It's time to talk about the gaming industry. My name is TJ Leo.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is episode 96 of Press Pause, a gaming podcast. How are you, my friend?
Tired. Aggravated. Despondent to a certain degree.
All right, then. Yeah, sure.
We'll get to that.
Sure. Yeah, I'm under the weather, so it would be interesting to see. I'll get through it. Like, it's not horrible. Like, if I was, I would cancel. But my temperature's all over the place. I'm like, I feel like 1,000 degrees right now. So
yeah.
We'll see how by the end. I mean, by the end of these shows, typically my window goes from light to dark, and then we'll see if I go from warm to pale and cold. we'll see what happens.
Well, the thing is because you're on camera, you can't do this. But if you weren't, you could just like shuck or add clothing as necessary.
This is true. I mean, I could just have like a sweater here, but I don't. I've been warm most of the day, so I don't think I'm gonna get cold. But you never know. Yeah,
but then you could go shirtless, and it wouldn't be a problem because nobody could see you.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they want to see me shirtless.
Yeah,
you never know.
I mean, male nipples are okay, at least according to Tumblr, but not female nipples.
No, you can't do that. No,
can't show those.
No,
I think it's the same on YouTube.
Yeah, I think you can't monetize male nipples on YouTube. I think is the gist. Because every time I watch a lot of YouTube shows and I follow a bunch of channels, and most of the time when a guy is in the show and he goes into like a pool, he's got a shirt on, and I'm like, why is that? Oh, that's probably why. Monetization.
Yeah, it's probably just them being on the safe side.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get to housekeeping and corrections.
Did you ever see that Veritasium episode where Derek covers himself in like the aerogel powder and comes out like totally dry because the water doesn't stick to him?
Oh, I've seen a magic trick with that before.
Yeah,
that stuff's cool.
He wasn't wearing a shirt in that because he wanted to demonstrate how the water just rolled right off of him.
I love shows like Mythbusters and slow-mo guys I used to watch a lot. That kind
slow-mo guys are great.
Yeah. Great stuff. Let's get to housekeeping and corrections.
That's why everybody watches them instead of us.
They've also been around a lot longer.
Yeah.
They also have, $20,000 slow-mo cameras.
Yeah. I think they're more than that. I think those are like
shot in the dark.
Phantoms. The Phantoms, I think Gavin has said that the Phantoms are like 6-figure cameras.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't shock me at all. They probably I wonder what they started with though. Because like
apparently, Gavin started the reason he has these cameras in the first place is because he worked for a company that shot slow-mo, and then when I guess the guy retired, Gavin was like the most, I guess, senior employee and said, "Do you want to take over the business?" And so that's how he ended up acquiring this $100,000 camera, and just kept doing it, and kept shooting stuff for movies and got huge on YouTube, and then was able to afford more cameras.
Yeah, a lot more cameras. Yeah,
although I think they rent some of them.
Wouldn't surprise me. Some of them are probably like
yeah.
really up there. I watch I watch a few travel vlog type YouTube channels, and it's funny because like they're going to these places that are like 6-star hotels and stuff like that. I'm like, how did they get here? And if you go back far enough into their video history, they're staying at like motels in the middle of nowhere, and like they start really small and pay for it themselves, and then as time goes by, they get sponsors. They
get sponsors because enough people start watching.
Yeah, and then YouTube starts to pay them, and it's interesting.
Anyway, you were trying to get into housekeeping.
It's okay. It's not a long show today, so I'm not as in a rush.
No, there weren't 10 million gaming showcases this week.
No, we finally have a little bit of room to breathe. But yeah, let's actually get into housekeeping and corrections. As always, we're on YouTube Music. If you want the podcast edition of the show, whether audio only or video, that's where you go. Co-op Club Discord community server where you can find myself and so many others talking about gaming, wrestling, and more. Link is in the description. Come join us and talk to us. It's a lot of fun. And patreon.com/co-op entertainment where you can throw us $1 a month to help support the channel. We greatly appreciate it. I do have 2, not corrections, but I guess added information or updates from our last show with the showcases.
Okay.
So we were talking about Mighty Cuphead Adventure and how it was so cute how they did like the Master System-esque presentation and everything. Well, as it turns out, they are making the game entirely in assembly.
So it's an actual Master System / NES level game.
No, it is actually going to release on the Master System. They are physically creating physical release. It will be available digitally on modern consoles and PC, but they are making.
No, I actually called it when I said it looked more like a Master System game.
That's because it is. It's because it is.
Yeah,
and cool. Entirely in assembly code, which is quite the feat today. So interesting.
Yeah, that's where you basically talk directly to the processor instead of writing in a language that's like human readable. Yep. And then compiling it. That's I forget if it was like a shirt or something that I once saw, but the statement was everything is open source if you can program in assembly. But even then, that's still because the assembly language for every processor is different.
It's complicated. Yeah, it's a flex if you can do it. It's a big thing. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Finding that out. And then we kind of weren't sure when Xbox was talking about Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution being console exclusives if they were coming to PC. They are. They are indeed coming to PC. They are just not coming to PlayStation.
Assuming the developers don't get shut down.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think those 2 are probably okay, but there's definitely some others that are.
I'm not so sure anymore.
We'll have to see.
We'll talk about that when we get to it.
All right, let's get to what we're playing. You finished maybe something?
Yes, I finished Twilight Princess. So I've been replaying Twilight Princess through the Dusklight unofficial PC port. I've been doing that for, I don't know, a few weeks now. Mm-hmm. Gradually working my way through. And you know what? I've come to a realization. I kind of hate Twilight Princess. which is really upsetting to me because I used to really like this game, and it just became more and more frustrating as the game went on. That was a bug.
They're existing bugs.
No. They're showing that it's console accurate there, and it includes the bugs.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so I had numerous problems with this game, and we talked about it a little bit. And you were speculating that it might have been because of Dusklight and
or the controller, lack of GameCube controller.
Well, I actually have some answers about that.
Okay.
So, in order for this to make sense, we first need to establish what I'm talking about. So, typically in 3D games, when you push forward on the stick, your character moves in the direction that the camera is facing. Because they assume, the player wants the character to move the direction that the player is facing through the camera. If you push forward and the character moves forward where they're facing, that's Resident Evil style tank controls. Now, in order for any of this to work, a game needs to keep track of where the camera is pointing so that it can update what direction pushing forward on the stick actually means. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why the fixed camera angles in the old Resident Evils were really annoying. Because you would transfer from one camera to another, and then you'd be walking to a different direction, and you'd have to adjust. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pain in the ass.
So, Dusklight lets you play the game with the original C-stick behavior, if you want, where left and right on the stick will rotate, sideways around Link. Pulling back on the stick will pull the camera back, and pushing forward will go into the first-person view. We don't really do that with games anymore. Now, forward and backward on the stick move the camera vertically around the character, And it really removes the need for that first-person view that Twilight Princess has, that Wind Waker had, that Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask had, that Mario 64 had. Nintendo did that in a lot of their games so that you could look around the space. But when, on the N64 where it was just buttons, kind of made sense. But with a stick where you have, finer movement control, it just makes more sense for it to just rotate the camera around in all axes. So, Dusklight has an option that lets you do that, where it removes the old C-stick functionality and replaces it with more modern camera control. And I strongly believe that there is not really a bug, exactly, just an oversight in this, where if you're using that modernized camera control, the game doesn't update, I think, the direction that the camera is looking in relative to the control stick the way that it's supposed to, because the game was never programmed to understand that different kind of camera control. It's expecting the camera control that Nintendo programmed into it, and it, I'm assuming, doesn't have logic to understand these new camera movements that were never possible in the original game.
Right.
And that brings me to one of the problems I was having with the controls, which is sometimes I would push forward on the stick and Link would move in the direction he was facing, not the direction I was facing. It would basically turn into tank controls. And it took me a while to figure out that this might be the case, but when I started to think about that, I did some testing, and I found that while it was technically possible to get the game to do the weird tank control thing with the original camera movement, it was very difficult to do and very inconsistent. Whereas with the modern style camera controls, I was able to do it almost every single time with a very, very consistent repeatability. It was like 1 out of 10 times with the old controls and 9 out of 10 times with the new controls.
Huh.
So I think Link's movement not tracking with the camera properly is down to, like, I'm pretty confident in saying it's down to using the modern style camera controls. So that's excused. That's not Nintendo's fault. That's just an issue with, the game being told to do a thing that it doesn't know how to do.
Now, because I don't remember having that problem in the GameCube version. It felt a lot like the 64 version, where it was like
and that was the thing, is I didn't remember it being like that either, and that's where it started to make me suspect, like, well, then what's different? Wait a minute, I did change the camera controls. Could that be related to it? And that's where I started testing things. Now, is that something that the Dusklight developers could fix? Maybe. I assume there's probably a way to inject some new control behavior, because they've injected like new visual effects into the game with like the different bloom settings that you can do. So probably, maybe they just didn't notice it. Maybe it's even already been fixed. There have been a number of updates. Yeah. I haven't updated this thing since I downloaded it. My version is actually still called Dusk, because this was before they changed the name to Dusklight, and I haven't updated it because I've just been going through it. Maybe they have fixed it. I did take a look through some of the changelogs on their GitHub page, but I mean, some of those posts are like a mile long, so I might have scrolled past it and not noticed it. But anyway, so that I'm not holding against the game. What I am holding against the game is stuff that's definitely a problem with the game. So, first problem is Link interacting with things. When you go up to something in a game like this and you get a button prompt, like to open a chest, for example, the way that works is there is some sort of angle in front of Link. Like if you think of like a cone, an invisible cone in front of him, anything that is within that cone, in the direction that he's facing and is close enough, he can interact with. Right? Like that's the way to think of how this stuff works. And it's the case for a lot of games. Again, it's very common. I think the cone in this game might be really narrow, because boy, do you have to be like facing damn near dead on to interact with some things. Like the number of times I was facing a chest and I was just off axis. Like I'm in front of the chest, I'm facing it, I'm not quite facing the center of the chest.
Mm.
I can't open the chest. I ran, or well, what would happen is I would roll past the chest because I'd be pushing the stick towards it, and I'd hit the A button, fully expecting that I was close enough to open it. No, just roll past it. It was constant.
Yeah,
Like almost every single chest.
I can confirm that this is a Twilight Princess thing. I do recall that. Yeah.
Another thing was getting on ladders.
Yep.
You really have to be dead on for the
it's
ladders.
basically exactly the same problem. Yeah.
And there's no prompt because ladders only work by you just rubbing against them until Link like latches onto them.
Yeah.
The ladder thing was worse than the chests, because the ladder, like, chests are not usually placed in a spot where if you run past them you'll go into, say, a pool of lava. But there's a few ladders in the game that are like that. So you better be sure that you're lined up, because he doesn't just like press flat against them like he would a wall and just stop moving. He runs around them as if they're curved.
Yeah. I remember this. Yeah.
That was incredibly frustrating, especially if I had to climb back up a ladder because I'd fallen. It just.
Oh yeah.
The next thing was the dungeons, which are. They seem to be designed to be frustrating rather than clever.
I couldn't even tell you any of them except for the mansion, which I love the mansion, but I couldn't tell you any of the other ones.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I'd forgotten because I couldn't remember.
Is there one where you're climbing a tower and you go all the way to the top pretty easily, and then you have to make your way back down by like moving things or something like that?
No.
Must be a different Zelda. It looks like this place to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, there are places, there are dungeons that are kind of vertical, but I wouldn't say that there's any where you ascend really easily and then the descent is hard. I would say that the ascent is the frustrating part.
It must be a different game. Maybe that was Skyward Sword.
Yeah, maybe it was Skyward Sword. I haven't played Skyward Sword, and now I'm kind of afraid to.
Don't play Skyward Sword. I can't recommend that game. I can't.
Yeah. Actually, that thing we just saw, the what I think they called the moon jump, which is a cheat that they have built into the game, I used that in a few places because I'd gotten up to a platform and then fallen off, and it was like 3 platforming challenges to get back up, and there were a few points of the game where I said, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I've proven that I can do it. I'm not doing it again. It's too frustrating. It's too annoying. I've already proven that I can get up there. I'm going to use the cheat to get back up there because some asshole knocked me off or something. But like the dungeons are designed in ways that are, it's almost like they lie to you in some places. Like there's the desert dungeon, the Arbiter's Grounds, and there's a puzzle in there where I could not figure out what to do. There was like a chandelier coming from the ceiling, but it was one of those things you lift it up so you can run underneath it before it comes crashing down, because otherwise it's blocking your path. And if it lands on you, it hurts you, as you'd expect. So I was in a room where I could not fucking figure out what to do, so I looked it up on YouTube. So apparently there's a hole in the middle of the thing, and if you stand in just the right spot, it doesn't crush you. But it's like, the game has already demonstrated to me that standing under it is a bad idea.
Right.
Because I've been crushed by it before. Oh, but I guess I wasn't standing in just the right spot. So it was a lot of these, like, how the fuck am I supposed to figure this out when the game has explicitly indicated to me that I should stay away from the bottom of this thing?
Yeah, don't train your players not to do something and then be like, yeah, you should do this, but don't tell them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Seen that kind of design problem before. There
were even places, there's one in particular where I was being too clever for the game. And that and the funny thing is that was in the final dungeon. It was in Hyrule Castle, and that was like the moment where I was like, oh man, this entire thing, this is
my patience has ran out.
Yeah. So there was a puzzle, right? You know how you get the boomerang and you can lock onto things, right? Mm-hmm. And there's in the dungeon where you get it, which is where you use like 99% of the items that you get in this game and nowhere else. There are puzzles where you have to spin things by targeting them with the boomerang, right? So there were 6 pillars with spinning fans on them, and you can lock on 5 times with the boomerang. So naturally, my thought was, oh, the solution to this puzzle is to figure out how to hit all 5 of them in one throw, or all 6 of them in one throw with only 5 lock-ons.
Right.
I was like, look at me, I'm being very clever. And I did it because it's like, well, there's 3 that are lined up, so I'll just target the first one and the third one, and as it goes between them, it'll hit the second one without using up one of my targets. Yeah, doesn't work.
Yep.
Doesn't work. Doesn't open the gate. And I'm like, well, then what the fuck could it possibly be? Like, what actually could it be? Go on YouTube again to look it up. The solution to the puzzle is written on a tile on the ground just past these spinners, covered in leaves that you have to blow away with the boomerang. And it just shows you the zigzag pattern of which ones you have to hit. Like, that is the solution to the training puzzle, because the dungeon where you get the boomerang has a puzzle like that.
Mm.
But they show you the solution on the floor, so you know, oh, I have to hit these things. Right? Like,
yeah, why in Hyrule Castle would they have...
basically another training version of this style of puzzle at the end of the game.
It's like putting the key under the welcome mat kind of a thing.
Yeah, like I thought, like it never occurred to me that there would be a tile nearby, because why would they just show you the solution to the puzzle in the game's final dungeon? They're never going to do that. This is a Zelda game. They don't do that kind of shit. They do here.
Mm.
It just... Every single dungeon past, I think, like the first 2 had shit like this, where it was just frustrating and annoying and...
You didn't like the mansion?
Nonsensical. The mansion is okay, because you go back and forth, and each time you do, you give the guy another ingredient for the soup that makes the health potion that he gives you better. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, at least I'm getting something for all my troubles. It's still kind of annoying. But like even that, like usually the ice dungeon is the most annoying in the game because of the slippery physics, which this one of course has, and yet it still managed to be one of the less annoying ones. I mean, there's the sliding puzzles, which are like, but they're not that hard.
No.
Right? But yeah, by the end of it, I was just I had a tiny crash out on BlueSky because I was fighting the last boss, and Zelda could not fucking hit him for shit. That's another thing, is you had to be locked on, and the targeting, like the L targeting, you know, what was Z targeting in Ocarina of Time, they call L targeting because you use the L trigger. Right. But it's the same thing. The range for which you can target things is really, really short. I don't know if it's shorter than it was in Ocarina of Time, but it doesn't matter. It needs to be longer because things can attack you from greater distances in this game.
Right. Especially in that fight, because he's like riding a horse, and then he's
riding a horse, and he can get out of range super easily. Yeah. And like, I was at one point, I was so close to him that Epona's model was clipping through the back of his horse, and Zelda took a shot and missed because he just started turning like off to the side just a little bit. If it's not a direct line of sight, she cannot hit him. It took forever.
So you know what's funny about this is we were talking about I think it was The Last Guardian the other day. I don't know why we were talking about The Last Guardian, but we were talking because of
UA's the new game that guy's making.
Yeah. And I was like, so many people had this like terrible experience, and I had this like,
and you had a great one.
Yeah, and then I played it again.
The second time.
Yeah, and then it was shit. And this reminds me of that because I remember that final battle in Twilight Princess being the best one in Zelda history for me personally. I think it was like, in my memory, I'm going, oh yeah, you fight Zelda, and then you fight the pig version, and then you fight him on a horse, and then you fight him in a sword battle. Like that was fucking amazing. But I can see if things don't go right, and it's kind of one of my pet peeves now is when developers introduce a new mechanic, a play mechanic in the final boss. I hate that shit. Yeah. You don't train your player the whole game for this fight and then say, oh, by the way, we're going to do something completely different. You're going to have to learn it right now. And that's what you have to do with that arrow thing. It's like, at no point did we do anything like this. Why is this here? You know?
Yeah, it was... And even, oh god, that wasn't even the only point during the final fight that pissed me off. So there's a part where you have to do like sumo with the pig form of him. But
Yes.
like, how am I supposed to know that that's what I'm supposed to do? Because I'm supposed to fight him in wolf form this time, and
Mm.
you don't have the sumo thing. And eventually, what will happen is, if you go long enough without doing it, Midna will give you a prompt. You'll get like the little Z button, talk to Midna prompt, and then she'll tell you what to do,
Yeah,
which is what had to happen for me because she's like, "Oh, I'll use my giant hair hand and do the sumo thing." And it's like, how was I supposed to figure that out on my own? The game has never had me do sumo
I do
with
recall
Midna
that.
riding on my back.
Yeah.
Like the sumo stuff has always been as Link, as like human Link. So why would I expect to do it here? This is the only place in the game where you ever do it in wolf form.
Yeah, they
Like,
should have had a moment where you have to do that to be like
yeah,
so
like
that it would
maybe
click. You know.
yeah, maybe one of the huge Gorons that you sumo with, you do it with Midna's hand because it's bigger or something. That's
Well, you would have
yeah,
to have something charging at you for it to click, I think. 'Cause
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
happens, right? Because Ganon's like
Yeah,
running at
he
you like a bull.
teleports around with these different portals, comes
Mhm.
out of one of them, and then charges at you.
Yeah. So I think even if you did it with the sumo, it wouldn't work because you're sumoing. Like you're not
Yeah,
like I wouldn't connect the dots between sumoing and a bull charging
yeah.
at me. You know what I'm saying? Like they should have
But like
had
at
some
least then
scenario.
you'd know that, oh, at some point the game might expect you to do this again in
Yeah.
wolf form, right? Like at least it would be something.
Yep. Yep.
It
Yeah.
was just like
There's a reason that
I
people
think
think this is the weakest 3D Zelda.
yeah. Yeah, I always used to say like, what do people have against Twilight Princess? I thought it was great. Now that I've played it again, I'm like, oh, oh god. And I'm wondering like now I'm second guessing myself. Like, how did I think this game was so great for so long? How did I enjoy it so much back in the day? Like, are there other games that I love that actually kind of suck?
Well, you also have to remember that we have a lot more knowledge about how games work, now, and how
Yeah,
design is better. So like in back in the day, we would just be playing a video game and don't have that knowledge. We wouldn't know any better.
yeah. I
Whereas
guess
now
we
we
weren't
do.
looking at it with as critical an eye as we are now, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like I still should have clocked this game as having like massive problems. I mean, I always knew that it had some problems. Like we've talked about a million times, the items, many of them just being worthless outside of the
Yep.
dungeons they're in.
The tutorial at the
That
beginning being way too long.
yeah, that's stuff that I recognized even back in the day. But like, how did I get that and then miss all this other stuff? Like, man,
Now I'm
I don't
actually
know.
really curious to see if you play Skyward Sword, of how you would like it. Although it's really tough because if you play it on Switch, you're not really getting the Skyward Sword experience because, well,
Yeah, because you got to have the motion controls.
I mean, I guess you can play it with the Joy-Cons if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So you could. It wouldn't be the same though.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
tough. I'm kind of curious what you would think of that game though. It's all over the fucking place, dude. It's all over
Yeah.
the place.
Also, the ending sucks, and I knew that it sucked, but I'd
Oh,
forgotten it, like
I like
especially
it.
how bad it sucked because I was like, yeah, Midna breaks the mirror, but doesn't she do it for a reason? No, she doesn't do it for a reason. There's no reason. She just breaks it. If it was like, oh,
Well,
if Ganon was banished to the Twilight Realm and she broke it to make sure he could never get back, I'd be like, okay, but no, she just breaks it for things to be like sad and melodramatic. You know?
well, she kind of alludes that as much as she doesn't want to do it, she has to protect her people, and so she breaks it to make sure nothing else happens again.
I guess, but like at the same time, like it's just been demonstrated that the Hylians of today are not like the Hylians who banished the people to the Twilight Realm back then.
Hmm.
You know, like she clearly has faith in Link and Zelda. So and she even says see you later and then immediately breaks it. It's like what?
Hmm.
You know what it feels like? It feels like a David Cage thing. We have to do something sad and melodramatic to make the player feel emotions.
Hmm.
You know, a person has to do something completely nonsensical because it would make the player melancholic.
It could be an over pivot to the reaction that Wind Waker got.
Maybe.
Because if you remember, Wind Waker was like, you know, hindsight's 2020. Everyone loves Wind Waker now, but like back in the day when Wind Waker was revealed, everyone was like, "What the fuck is this shit? Where's our realistic looking Zelda game?" And
Yeah.
then
I do think that a lot of Twilight Princess is like that But like
Yeah.
that ending specifically, it's like it's just it's so nonsensical. And I believe I recall reading at some point that whoever wrote the story for the game regretted that because they didn't realize when they wrote it how popular Midna would be with people.
And now she's gone.
And now she's got. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because
No.
there's very little actual continuity in Zelda.
And if
You
they
know,
really
despite
wanted to, they could have another Zelda where they find another mirror.
they could do a million things.
Yeah.
Also, does it feel weird to you that this game isn't connected to Link to the Past? Because it kind of feels like a Link to the Past in a lot of ways. Like you go to this dark world through a magic mirror, which you use to travel to the light world from the dark world in Link to the Past. You turn into a creature when you go to the dark world, which happens in Link to the Past. If you don't have the Moon Pearl, and even like they talk about the interlopers, the Hylians who went to the Twilight Realm,
The interlopers. I love
seeking
that word.
seeking power. It's like the introduction in the manual for Link to the Past talks about people who went to the Golden Land seeking power and returned. Like the whole thing feels like it's a setup for almost like a sequel to Link to the Past. But it's not. I mean, even the goddess statues at the end of the game, they've got the 3 goddess statues in Hyrule Castle. They even have molded into the statues little gusts of wind that they're blowing from their mouths, which is something that's in the artwork in the Link to the Past manual. It's like, did they decide against connecting this game to Link to the Past at the last second or something? Because it really feels like that's where they were going for a lot of it. But nope. I guess not.
Did they explain why Ganon's back in Twilight Princess? Because he was killed in the timeline that Twilight Princess.
Yeah, he was killed, but then his spirit found Zant and
right.
possessed him, and that's how he gained his power back.
Right.
Also, that's another thing is that Zant, the whole Zant thing is kind of unresolved because it's not like he's killed at the end of the game. He even does a weird thing where he like bends his neck and then it like telepathically breaks Ganon's neck, and then he just dies in the field there.
I could be wrong, but isn't he in Four Swords Adventures?
No. What's that game? Vati. That's the name of the guy.
Vati. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they need to. I think they need to work on that timeline. They have so much in the Heroes Defeated timeline at this point. So the Heroes Defeated timeline is Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Oracle, Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, the original Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2.
Oh, this is that timeline that they cobbled together for Hyrule Historia. I've always felt like we've talked about that before. Yeah. I always felt like that's bullshit. Like just a thing to sell that book because the timeline theory was so fun. I
like theorizing and stuff like that. I think it's fun, even if it's weird and nonsensical. It's still fun.
It's pretty clear that it was just kind of pieced together. Like they've even said that they don't think about where a game would fit with regards to others until after the fact because they don't want to constrain themselves with the story they tell. So unless it's a game that's always intended to be a sequel, like Majora's Mask is to Ocarina of Time, they just do whatever they want, and then they feel like, this kind of ties into that, I guess.
Well, it makes sense.
The number of times that they've done this is the earliest game in the timeline thing. Like first it was Ocarina of Time, and then it was
Minish Cap.
And then it was Skyward Sword, and now like Tears of the Kingdom flashes back to the earliest point, which is weird because Tears of the Kingdom felt like it was going to reference Skyward Sword with the floating kingdom, and then that turned out to be nothing.
So yeah, Breath of the Wild is not any of the 3 timelines.
Yeah, it's just they do whatever they want, and they say, okay, this is it. It's not connected to the others, or it is. Whatever we feel like.
It apparently, if you read the Breath of the Wild book, so they made a 4th. You remember how they made those 3 Hyrule Historia type books? There was the green one that was all about the timeline. One was about all the monsters or something, and then one was something else. I can't remember. There was a 4th one that was just Breath of the Wild, and it does place Breath of the Wild after all of the other 3. But it doesn't specify which of the 3 timelines it's actually a part of. So is that as good as it just being its own thing? Kinda. But it also leaves the door open for them to connect it later on if they want to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they can just do whatever. They don't want to feel constrained by, like putting themselves in a box ahead of time if it prevents them from doing something else.
I do think it's interesting that all the
go ahead.
I was gonna say I do think it's interesting that all the cartoon Zeldas are one timeline. Like Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks.
Well, yeah,
they're all on one side of the side of the timeline.
Oh yeah, that train game. What the fuck was that called? Spirit Tracks. That's also explicitly a sequel to Wind Waker.
Yes, it is. So is Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both are. Yeah, it goes Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks in the timeline.
Yeah. The other thing that I found a little bit annoying is I was looking up concept art from the game, and you know how I've said that I find it really boring that Midna's true form is just like a generic sexy lady. Like she's colored weird, but other than that, she's just like a sexy princess pinup lady.
Right? She looks like an Avatar girl.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, but that's kind of boring. Like she's hotter, but she's not as.
It would have been more cool if they all looked like Midna, if that was the actual like.
And the thing is, when you heal them with those solar balls that you get, they're still proportioned kind of like. I mean, some of them are big and tall, but some of them are really small. Like, even if she had like just been a little more freaky looking, and that's what I found is some concept art of her true form, of unused designs, where she still kind of looks like the little gremlin thing, but proportioned more like a human. But she's still got like the extra long arms. She's still got like the crazy hair. And I was like, that's better. That's still kind of a weird, like, alien, other dimensional creature thing. Like, maybe this was a Hylian at one point, but after, who knows how long it, changed in this other dimension. Not just, that just looks like a person with, like, skin patterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So that's why I'm in kind of a bad mood. I mean, I'm in a much better mood than I was yesterday because I'm done with it and I don't have to go back to it. But like, it's just,
you gotta play a good game now. Play Mass Effect.
Well, yeah, but I thought I was playing a good game. I started this being like, oh man, I want to go back and play this. I love this game, and it's like, oh no, I hate this game.
Yeah, apparently, I don't like this game. I will say it has one of the coolest renditions of the Hyrule Castle theme song ever.
Oh, the music in this game is top notch.
So amazing.
Yeah, like that is like one thing that they did not fuck up. The music in this game is incredible.
Yep.
So anyway, how about you? Have you had any soul crushing experiences, or you just had like a chill week?
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Mixed bag. Yeah. Let's. I have a bunch to talk about, but not again. Very similar to last week, where I have a bunch of things to talk about, but not necessarily much to talk about individually. Okay. So I have first impressions of. Did the loop work? It did. Crimson Desert. First impressions of Crimson Desert. Finally got a hold of it. So my first takeaway. So I've only played like 2 hours. Maybe it's not a lot.
That's not much time for a game like this.
Not in a 200-hour game, no. Takeaways is number one, it's kind of ugly on base PS5. So, if you're out there wondering if you should pick this up, if you don't have a PS5 Pro or a PC that's beastly, I would probably skip it because it does not look like what we're seeing. It does not look like this at all.
Of course not. No. They're gonna have this running on a beast mode PC. Yeah,
this is a 5090 Ti,
highest quality setting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks pretty. The amount of artifacting in the game is just.
Oh, I hate that when you've got artifacting in something that's in real time.
Yeah, there's so much.
Is that from the upscaling or something?
I don't think there is upscaling on PS5, so I think it's just they had to lower the quality of the visuals to make it run on PS5 because the game is dense. The game is fucking dense as fuck. There's so much stuff everywhere. It's which I will get to the positives, but yeah, visually it's just very underwhelming and very kind of annoying, actually.
You ever think about the dungeons that have those like perpetually moving saw blades and are like, if this dungeon's been here for like 1,000 years,
How are
shouldn't
they
those
still
things
working?
and shouldn't they be just completely blunt at this point?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't they be as sharp as a fucking coin or something,
Yeah, or not moving anymore.
or just rusted away, or the
Yeah,
mechanism is broken?
gotta love it.
Like, who's maintaining this shit in this temple that no one's been in for centuries?
It's true. So yeah, that was my
And
first
also
takeaway.
falls apart as soon as Lara Croft touches something.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry.
Just a she farts
Yeah.
and everything falls
Yeah.
over.
Nope.
So yeah, first takeaway: games. No, it doesn't run. I mean, it probably runs at like 50 frames per second on PS5
Yeah.
in performance mode. So it's fine, but it's not the experience that you want for a game like this. Number 2 is, holy fuck, I don't know what they were smoking when they came up with the control scheme for this game, but what the fuck? It's one of those situations where they just change everything just cuz. And in your brain you're like, why would you do this when everyone's used to this? It makes no fucking sense. Like, the jump button, I think, is triangle.
I hate that shit. I hate that shit.
The sprint button is X. Like what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Okay, developers, here the two buttons that players have the easiest access to, if we're to talk in PlayStation terms, are square and X, because those are the ones that your thumb is at the best angle to hit. You put whatever your most common action is on the X button, and whatever the second most common one is on the square button, which usually is jump and attack, respectively. And then maybe one of those buttons doubles as like your interaction button, maybe. But putting something that you're going to do as often as jumping on the triangle button is a terrible fucking idea.
You can change the controls. They have a bunch of different settings, but I always go with the default because they're the developers. They're supposed to tell me how this game should be played. And so, that's what I did. I might be getting it wrong. It might be square that's jump, but I know X is run. It's really irritating. Yeah, because clicking the right stick clicking the left stick is most of the time sprint in games is run. Click the stick. Because
I'm not even crazy about that. If it's a click and then just let it.
Yes, you can toggle. Yeah, like it's normally a toggle.
If you have to like hold it, click down, then that's no.
Most games.
Nothing,
yeah.
Yeah, nothing that requires you to click the stick should be
stick.
something that you have to hold it for, because it's.
I would say like 95% of modern games that I play on PlayStation, you have the option of switching it, so you can toggle it,
which is how it should be.
Yeah. But then you have like I think triangles kick something, but then R1 is your weak attack, R2 is your strong attack.
That's a Dark Souls thing.
Yeah, which is okay, but why is there another one there? Like
I actually don't mind that, because it means that you can keep your thumb on the right stick and move the camera around while you're planning an attack and executing an attack.
Yeah. Circles evade.
There are advantages and disadvantages to it depending on how combat focused your game is. This one looks pretty combat focused, so I can kind of understand.
L2 is aim, which makes sense. L1 is guard, which makes sense.
Yeah, that can work.
But it just the way it feels, it kind of, the closest I can explain how the game feels is like Red Dead.
Okay.
Where it just feels, or even GTA, where it's just like, it just feels different for the sake of being different instead of just being what everything else is,
Didn't GTA 5 like change one of the default button assignments between the original version and that next gen version they released for no reason? Like reload went from like square to circle or something like that.
I think they did something like that. I don't know if it was that egregious, but I think it was because they introduced the first person mode and people were wanting, whatever that was. So those are my negative impressions early on. Actually, no, I have another one. The voice acting is and dialogue is atrocious. It's terrible. It feels like Google translates. Like it's terrible. It's absolutely awful. Which really takes out the immersiveness of the experience when you're, because you can talk to anybody in the game. There's people everywhere, and you can talk to anybody, and they will say something to you. And 70% of the time, the context makes no sense, or even if you have an actual conversation with an actual person that you have a full conversation with, the beats don't line up. It's like, wait, what? What were we talking about?
I wonder if that's because this is a Korean game. Because
definitely.
if, like, the original Resident Evil games,
I was almost a Jill sandwich.
In the original Resident Evil games, the games were always in English. Like, the text was in Japanese, but the voice acting was always in English. And for the very first Resident Evil game, they actually had English speaking actors in Japan doing it, being directed presumably by Japanese people, which is, part of the reason why the voice acting sounds so weird. It's because the director is like, do it like this, and the director probably is not a native English speaker.
Yeah.
That was also the case for Shenmue, which had all of its English dialogue recorded and directed in Japan. And Shenmue's is a little weird at times. It's not as bad as the original Resident Evil, but it's kind of weird at times.
It also makes following the story very weird, very hard.
Yeah. It's usually best to, like, I understand people who want to have, like, control of their creation so that it's, close to their vision. But when it comes to something like translating it into a different language, you at least got to have someone who natively speaks that language also there helping you make decisions, because what sounds like perfectly fine English voice acting to you as someone who doesn't natively speak English probably, maybe doesn't sound right to someone who does. It's the same thing as if I tried to do voice direction for a game in Japanese. I would have no idea what a good line read sounds like. I would have no idea if we needed to do another take, or if these two conversations, like, meshed up correctly. It sounds like Japanese to me. I don't know if it sounds good or not.
Exactly.
So,
It also has a very Asian-inspired way of telling the stories, which is a huge, strange juxtaposition to the very Western style looking.
Yeah, there is a different. It's hard to put into words exactly. I'm sure that people who have studied, like, East Asian literature can probably describe it better. But there's definitely a different style of storytelling between East Asia and, like, North America or Europe, which is not very surprising. They're very different cultures, so of course there's going to be differences in things, including how stories are told. But sometimes, when you're trying to take a story structured from one culture and you're trying to present it to an audience in a different one, there are steps that you can take to kind of ease that transition, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It really kind of depends on the work, and also what the audience expects, because then you've got different audience expectations. There are some people who are going to want it to be adapted to their tastes because it'll make more sense to them, but then there are some people who will want it to be as close to the original as possible because they want something that's closer to the original experience, even if it comes out kind of weird in the localization. And there are honestly legitimate arguments to both sides of that, and it can be a difficult. Yeah, like this is a thing that comes up with anime localization all the time, and I've even seen different approaches to it in different localizations. Like, do you keep honorifics, like san or sensei or whatever, after people's names, because that's not a thing that we have in English. I mean, we have things like Mr. or Miss or whatever, but it's not quite the same thing. And so some translations keep that in, some get
Persona
rid of them.
does, I think. Persona keeps the san. I think.
Yeah, I've noticed that the more like Japanese a story is, the more likely the localization is to keep that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's something like a fantasy story, like there's a series that I like called Slayers, which is just like a straight up D&D style, like fantasy world. It would seem kind of weird to keep those like Japanese specific linguistic traits in it, even though they use them in the Japanese version. The characters aren't Japanese, so there's no reason why it would be necessary from a cultural standpoint. So, like, the English version of Slayers doesn't have any of that stuff. But like you said, something like Persona that is explicitly taking place in Japan, filled with characters who are supposed to be speaking Japanese, even though we're presented, in English for the North American release, it makes a little bit more sense in that context.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yes, sometimes it's
in this case, I
difficult
don't
to
think it's a
know-
cultural thing. I think it's, well, I don't, at least not from like a presentation standpoint. I think it's just the way that they tell stories over there is, well, let me just give you an example. If you don't want early game spoilers, which honestly,
Go ahead.
dude,
Go ahead.
no one's going to give a shit.
The game's been out for a little while. I think anybody who wants to play it has at least played the early game at this point.
Yeah, and it's a super early game. But basically, the way the game starts is you're just this dude, Cliff, with your, I don't know, like, what would you call like a Norse, like, Viking group? Like, I don't know, they're not Vikings, but like, like an expedition of people. I don't know.
Just your
clan.
homies, your posse.
Yeah. You're with them, and you get attacked, and everyone dies, and you get your friggin' throat slit and thrown off a cliff at the beginning. And then you have this like dream of this thing happening. And
this sounds like the beginning of Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Where your home gets attacked and you die, you fucking die, but then it's like you've got the heart of a dragon or whatever, and so you come back to life.
It's not even explicitly said that you're at your expedition's base or like home. You seem like you're just kind of in a cabin in the middle of nowhere. Like it's
but it's like your people get killed, you get killed, but you get brought back because you're the hero of the story. And
you just wake up in a place where this person, I guess, helped you heal. But it's like you got your fucking throat slit. It's like, okay, all right. So there's that, and then you just kind of like, the guy introduces you to the town that you're in, and you just kind of start walking around, and little tutorial things pop up to tell you, like, you should probably go do this. You should probably go do this, and it kind of like gets you into the various systems and stuff like that, right? Of which there are like 87 systems in this game. It's ridiculous.
I'm sure.
And the first person you end up speaking to, a part of that quest, just wants you to do like a quick, like, it's like one of those like, side quests that you don't think really matter. So I think the first one was like, you have to save this kid's cat who's stuck up on a roof. So you go up there.
Tutorial quest.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it teaches you how to climb. So you go up there, you get it, you come back. But then the kid says like, thanks, I hope you'll come see me in my city. And then he walks around the corner and just vanishes. And you're like, okay, that was weird. Then you go help another person, same thing happens. You help them, and then they walk around the corner and vanish, and you're like, what the fuck's happening? You do this like 4 or 5 times. And then I can't remember what happens. Something happens. You end up in the sky above the world in this like series of floating islands, and it basically just says, make your way across the sky bridge, and you're like, why am I here? It just kind of makes the assumption that you know why you're here, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
It feels like a bit of an escalation.
Yeah, it feels like a really big escalation, and then you spend like a good 10 minutes like just doing platforming for the next little while, and then there's a dude who explains all this exposition of what's going on, and you're like, you're the savior of humanity, like bullshit.
Yeah. Of course.
And it just, the way that it's presented kind of just feels like emotionless and soulless. It's just kind of like it's there, but it's not the fault of the story. It feels like it's just, the presentation fails it, because it's just
disjointed,
just completely disjointed and just like sudden. Because you go from this, you
were doing like casual errands for people around town, and then suddenly you're in the fucking sky.
Well,
on
like,
floating islands.
well, like I would have expected me to get like a tutorial, not a tutorial, but like an introduction to the world and its people
Mhm.
first. But the first person you end up speaking to beyond the guy that you start that helped you or whatever, they end up like disappearing, like literally disappearing, and it's because they were some sort of entity guiding you to this sky bridge thing. But I'm like, I haven't even got to know the world yet. I don't even know what the like where I am,
Yeah,
the
what is the
setting.
context for this?
Yeah, like it's just I don't even give a shit about the world yet, and you're asking me to save it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, how
it's
how
like
can I be amazed at this thing happening to me when I don't know what this thing is?
yeah, like if you
It's like,
compare it to Ocarina of Time, as a kid, you care about the forest first and the Kokiri,
mhm,
and then you go to the Hyrule town and you look around the Hyrule town. You kind of learn all about that stuff, right?
mhm.
And then it escalates from there. But in this, it's like you're just in an expedition. Everyone gets killed. You get killed and thrown off a cliff. You meet a dude who
Yeah.
saved you, and now you're meeting a bunch of people that disappear, and now you're in the sky. It's just
Yeah,
like
and like
holy
when
shit.
when you complete the Deku Tree dungeon, and before the Deku Tree dies, he explains to you like there's something evil in the world. It's like this thing that was in me isn't the only one. There's more. It's like it's setting up.
Yeah,
You know
it's do
that
do 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 do. But
yeah, there's more to come. This is not the end of your adventure, Link. There's far more to this. Whereas here,
here
it
it's just
sounds
it's like a vertical line almost. This is like
yeah,
whoa, holy shit, what's happening? I don't even know who I
yeah.
am, let alone all this stuff. Yeah, it goes way too quickly. I mean, it does give you the ability to just walk around and do whatever the fuck you want. You don't have to follow that
Mhm.
tutorial. But I mean, like, you don't know what you're
Then you'd
doing.
know even less.
Yeah, then you have no idea what like you can talk to like these shopkeepers and they have systems upon systems upon systems where you're like, why do I
I
even have
wonder.
access to this yet? Like, you should be introducing this to me piecemeal, very
I
slowly.
wonder if they've designed this with the assumption that everyone who's played it has played Black Desert Online, and that these are systems that they'd be familiar with.
It's possible. It is a prequel to Black Desert, so
Yeah, but if it still has a lot of the same mechanics, like maybe
maybe.
or like the same like storyline, like it's
Yeah, I
like
have no
it
idea.
sounds to me like you were like chosen by this amazing god, but you're like, wait, who's this god? I've never heard of this god before.
Yeah, it could
Right?
be.
Maybe if
Yeah,
you'd played Black Desert Online, you'd have some context and you'd
could
like
be.
know, oh my god, this god has chosen me. That's incredible. Like I did, this guy's a huge deal in Black Desert. I mean, I don't know either because I've never played it.
Yeah,
So maybe that's the problem is
it could be.
the assumption that people have played Black Desert.
And
Who knows?
it also makes the unfortunately common mistake of doing the tutorials um statically. So by that I mean when you're going through these tutorials, it pauses the game and a text box appears and explains something,
Oh yeah,
and then you click X to get rid of the text box and then you do it rather than it just appearing like on a list of to do, like a to-do list.
yeah.
Because then you forget everything you just read as soon as you start to go. You're like, wait, it said to do. Like, why isn't it just there? Why isn't it just an
I
objective
definitely
list?
prefer tutorials that kind of let you go through them at your own pace. Like
Mm.
when it's a thing where it's like, hey, you have to press this button to continue, and then the game just will not continue until you press that button or something, because it turns the tutorial into
An encyclopedia.
like like an encyclopedia, but like a series of boxes that you have to tick off,
Yeah.
which is not how the gameplay works, because in game you're doing all of these things interwoven with one another.
And you have to remember
And
that
so,
shit. As soon as it
yeah,
disappears, the box doesn't come back. So
yeah,
it's like,
they need to have the tutorial feel like the gameplay does, with the little things that come up and tell you this is what you do. And then maybe once you do it, they give it a checkbox, so it's like, okay, you know how to do this now. But make it feel like the game and not like isolated lessons about each mechanic, because then it's like, well, how do they fit together? You know, because
yeah.
that's just not what the real gameplay is like.
It,
When you segment the tutorial too much, it becomes less helpful.
yeah, and they throw the text boxes at you pretty constantly. Like, you're just
Yeah,
constantly
and
popping up.
the freezing the game in time for the text box, like I guess if it covers the whole screen or something, that's better than covering it in real time, but they don't usually cover the whole screen with the text box, you know.
No,
So
it's like half
yeah,
a screen.
Yeah, it really it does kind of break up the flow.
And it just doesn't, it's not a teaching tool. It's not a good teaching tool at all.
Yeah, it's frustrating in general when something pauses the game that isn't you.
Yeah, that's
like,
true too.
I should be the only person who has the power to stop time in this world.
Yeah.
You know, for like if somebody calls me on the phone or something.
So I could go on, but you know we're already an hour into the show, and we've barely gotten out of the gates here. So
oh my god, we already are. Jesus.
I'll save the rest of my thoughts for when I play more. But I think the best way I can say it so far is it feels like a game of developers who are not veterans in game design who tried to do something above their.
At least not of single player games.
Yeah. Well, even if you consider Black Desert Online, it's still one game and one MMO.
It is one game. It's been out for a while, and they've done a lot of work on it. But designing for an MMO is fundamentally very different from designing for a single player game. And it may just be that they don't have, the kind of familiarity with that compared to making an MMO.
And I will say, it doesn't feel like an MMO. So it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy 15 feeling like 14. Like, it doesn't feel like, the bones are in the wrong place kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to continue playing it or not. It's tough to play when the game doesn't run. I mean, it doesn't run bad. It looks kind of ugly. It's just like the amount of artifacting is really bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
It's a shame that console games don't let you tweak your settings the way PC games do. I understand why they do that, because they want to have like some kind of baseline that they can show off. Mm-hmm. Like this is what you can get on the PlayStation. Yeah. But there's actually no reason why you couldn't have a settings menu like that. In fact, I think one of the Star Ocean games lets you do that. Just lets you freely tweak the settings. I just wish more games would do that,
I'll be honest, I don't think it would help. I think the PS5 is just not powerful enough
to
run this game.
Yeah.
The base PS5. Because I talked to somebody in our Co-op Club Discord community server who played it, but they played it on PS5 Pro, and they say the game looks gorgeous. So I'm like,
okay.
All right. So I think it's just a PS5, it not being optimized for the base PS5. All right. Let's move forward. So I said last week that I would play a demo that I wasn't aware was out. Do you remember what game that was?
I remember that there was one, but I forget what it was. I got distracted by Twilight Princess. Wasn't I supposed to play it as well? Damn it.
Yeah, no.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's very pretty, very colorful game.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's cool.
Okay.
It is a Metroidvania, which I did not. I wasn't 100% sure on it, but it's definitely a Metroidvania. The combat is interesting because you have your jump, you have your dodge, you have all this stuff. But the combat is interesting because your weapon is your mouth. And I don't know if you notice
my weapon is my mouth in real life as well.
You
can interpret that however way.
I was gonna say that could be a couple different ways.
It's true in a couple different ways.
Whoa.
And I'm not going to say anymore because we're on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, moving on. If you watch the combat, which I'll reverse here. Sometimes when you hit an enemy, they'll flash green. Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, there. See how they flash green? Yeah. They go. So if you hit them when they're flashing green, you eat them.
Oh, okay.
And you can gain life back from that, and it's an insta kill and that kind of stuff. And you basically any enemy you kill will turn into a bunch of meat that you can eat
like,
to regain life.
Glory kills in Doom 2016.
There you go, right
there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't play a whole lot of it, maybe like 20 minutes, and it's cute. It feels good to play, like it feels right. Cool platforming stuff where you have to like use your jaw to clamp onto like almost lantern type
grabbable things. Yeah,
and you kind of swing yourself around. It feels pretty good. I was more impressed than I went in thinking, oh, this is just another fucking Metroidvania. There's a million of these on Steam. But I would check it out if you're interested in Metroidvanias.
I definitely like the visual style. I love the like Mike Mignola style high contrast stuff. Like he's the guy who makes Hellboy. You know, the
Ah,
comic book series,
yes.
and has that like the really like the pure black shading on stuff.
Yeah, it's very
I like
pretty.
that, and it's very similar to what Hades does as well.
Yep. Yep.
I really like that look, and this game's got it. So
Yeah. So I dig it. My only complaint against it is that the environments are really busy. So sometimes it's a little tough
yeah, they do
to.
look kind of busy. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little tough to decide whether or not something is you can jump on it or if it's
Well, it
dangerous
looks
or
to me like things in the background are sort of
faded.
faded. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that consistent throughout the game?
yeah. From what I played, that's pretty consistent. But the foreground and the walls, you know that they're there, but you don't know what's dangerous and what's not. It's not made clear
Oh, okay.
enough. It's not quite made
Okay.
clear enough because you'll like that. Like you'll see like it's tough to explain, but like there's a lot going on in the foreground
Yeah.
that you can confuse things a little bit. But
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Next up is one that I liked, but I'm definitely not going to play. This is Order of the Sinking Star, Jonathan Blow's next game. So I was not aware that this is a grid-based puzzler. I knew it was going to be a
He's
puzzle
gonna
game
cry
because
if he
it's
hears you say that. He's gonna go in a dark room and cry, like when Soldier Boy wasn't enjoying Raid in the way that he'd hoped.
that's okay, dude. Cry. Not everyone's going to like your shit.
I'm never gonna let that go.
No.
It's such a funny image.
I do Blow, if you're listening. I really like The Witness. I couldn't beat it because it's fucking insane, but I liked it. This one is a little more okay. So I don't know if this is true. I've heard this through a couple of sources, and I can't verify it. I mean I'm sure I could verify it if I dug deep enough, but apparently, yeah, but I have not verified it. Apparently, this game is actually 4 different indie games that he licensed the ability to merge together into his own game so that he didn't have to I don't know. I assume so he didn't have to work on as much content. So at the beginning of the game, you're in the center of this giant map. And if you go north, there's a whole different section of the world. You go east, whole different section of the world. South, west. They're all completely different from each other. And essentially it's they're all different games that he is licensed to put in this game, and they're all it's a puzzle genre, a block pushing. Games.
Tokuban.
Yeah. So he licensed those kind of games from various indie developers that had already made them and put them together. And
This is the Robotech of video games, except instead of different anime franchises about giant robots, it's different games about moving blocks.
Yeah. Where he comes into play is obviously the entire art has been changed, and the identity of the game has been changed, all that kind of stuff. But the puzzles themselves have remained intact. But where he comes into play beyond what I just said is those 4 sections that I talked about. They eventually merge with each other and become puzzles that are merged, intertwined together in ways.
This really is Robotech. Oh my god, because they did exactly that. Then they made some original Robotech movies that kind of went nowhere, but had characters from the different shows in the same setting. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, this should not take away from anyone's. How do I want to say this? Knowing that should not take away from the impressiveness of the complicated puzzles that have been created. Because yes, a bunch of them were already created by other people, but he has, and his team, I'm assuming, has.
Now, are these games that have already been released, or were they in development games that he?
I don't know. I have no idea. This is just what I've heard through the grapevine. I have no idea. Okay. They might be like Japanese only games, maybe. I don't know.
Jesus Christ, this is getting more like Robotech by the second.
And then what further complicates it is that there's 4 characters in the game, which you're seeing here, and all of them move the blocks differently. So there's one guy.
One pushes, one pulls.
One pushes, one pulls. One, you'll see the wizard here. See, he
trades places.
He trades places with it when you look at it. The one that pulls it if you walk away from the block, it will pull it no matter what. Like, you don't have the option. She will just pull it. That's the way it works. That's the mechanic. And that I don't remember what the fourth guy does. Yeah, one's pull, one's push, one's switch. I don't remember what the other one was. There is a fourth one. He's not in this particular puzzle though.
Must not have made much of an impression then.
Well, it hurt my brain. So maybe it's this guy. Let's see what he does. Oh yeah, you can also rewind time so that puzzles don't become impossible and stuff like that. Like every move, so it's grid based, right? So every move you make, you can undo one by one. It's and you can undo your undos as well. So you can be like, oh no, that's not how far I wanted to go back. I want to go here. Now that's the puller. I don't know. We'll see if it comes up in here what the fourth one does. But fuck, is it like? I guess if you're a fan of block pushing games or like Sudoku or like shit that just you have to break your brain to understand, then this game is going to be for you. But it's just so complex. And I was just playing the fucking demo, the beginning of the game. Yeah. Like I immediately saw the escalation of chaos and was like, oh god, no. I can't. God bless this man for making these games that are just painful for your brain, because we need to stretch our brains. But I can't put myself through it. It's a thing. It's basically like every Zelda block pushing puzzle times 1,000
rolled into one.
Yeah. He said I think he said there's 1,000 puzzles in the game. Yeah. So, if you're into mind bending, puzzle blocking, pushing puzzles, this is your dream come true. If you're not, stay away. Stay far away.
I apologize for the sound of my upstairs neighbors dropping things on the floor.
Is that what that was? I thought it was you dropping something. Damn.
Nope.
All right. Next up, I don't have much to say about this one, but I wanted to put a kind of a PSA out there about it because a lot of people have never even heard about it, and somebody in our co-op club Discord community server learned about it from me and really enjoyed it. So this is Mistfall Hunter. So this is a Souls-like extraction shooter.
Okay.
So it's Arc Raiders or Marathon or Escape from Tarkov.
Isn't that just Night Rain?
No. Night Rain is a co-op roguelite.
Okay.
You don't play against other players that game. That's just PvE co-op. This one is you team up with 2 other people. You go slay monsters. You get as much loot as you can. You get the fuck out and hope you don't run into any other players. And if you do, you're fighting them basically. You can play by yourself just like any other extraction shooter, or you can team up with up to 3 people. And it's kind of doing really well. I played the demo, just the tutorial, just to kind of see how it felt, because I'm like, is this going to be a B grade budget game, or is this going to be like a full-on feeling AAA game? And I would say it feels AA. Like, it feels really polished. It's quite pretty. So if you're into extraction shooters, but also like Souls games, be worth checking out. That's Mistfall Hunter. Demo is available now. Check that out. And then what is easily the king of this month's Steam Next Fest, Iron Nest is the final game on my list.
I have not played a single thing from Steam Next Fest because just like last year, everything I find is just full of AI shit.
Just go to the charts and see what's trending. This usually where the best stuff is. And this is number 1 on the list. And remember that game PVKK that I talked about, where you're controlling the turret, the planetary turret, defending the planet. This is the same thing, except it's like a war going on, and you are in control of a heavy turret that walks like a walker.
So it's Metal Gear.
But more like ancient. So basically, you get codes and telemetry sent to you about where the enemy is, and you have to change the elevation of the turret and the direction of the turret and the power of the turret to
This
shoot.
is like this looks like the fucking intro to Red Alert, where they're assembling the warheads and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. But yeah, it's really, really immersive and really creepy, really cool. You're basically just inside this giant walking mech. You have a little home downstairs where you have a little bed and a desk and a mission board and all that kind of stuff. And you go upstairs, and that's where all the munitions that you can buy are up there, and turning all the gears and the levers to aim. And you have the big map that you have to coordinate what angle on the map the enemy's at and what distance they're from you. So like there's like not a Morse code. It could be Morse code. But it's like a sheet of paper on the wall that just has like an automatic typewriter that gives you messages from presumably the government that you're working for. And they'll be like, Spotter 1 is located here. Spotter 2 is located here. Both of them have spotted an enemy. Spotter 1 sees it at 87 degrees from their position. Spotter 2 sees it from 47 degrees from their position. So then you got to go.
you have to like triangulate.
You have to triangulate where they're looking on the map, just like that, with the tools that they give to you, and find
just
that
letting
spot.
you know. I don't think it shows up on the recording, but you're going to hear me muting and unmuting a lot because I think they're moving around furniture up there or something.
Oh, that's fine. You're good. I haven't heard anything since the initial one. You're good. So yeah, you have to triangulate the exact location of where you need to shoot, and then you have to set up all these gears and levers and everything. Load the ammo, the giant caliber ammo, and then fire it. And when you fire it, it takes you to the map, and then you have like that old school like pocket watch that pops up, time to impact. It's ticking down, and you see this like mechanical arm moving on the map, tracking where your shell has fired, and then it updates the map with like satellite images from where you shot, and it'll have like a crater where you shot, and will confirm if you hit your target or not. Very immersive, very cool. It's being made by like 2 people. Crazy. Super polished. I would highly recommend checking it out. It's slower paced than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like, holy shit, there's a guy, there's an army heading towards the capital. You have 2 minutes to calculate the trajectory, but it's not like that, at least at first. I played like the first 3 missions, and I was like, yeah, okay, I get the game. I'm into this. But you can really take your time and make sure you're doing things right. The first shot I fired, I missed. I didn't miss ever again after that, though, once I understood kind of how everything worked.
So this sounds to me like it's like the Papers, Please of artillery games.
Yeah, it's a good kind of. Well, I mean, you are at war, and it doesn't seem like there's like, don't fire on this person because you're not the spotter. You're the one who's delivering the.
But it's like you have to do a lot of like analysis and sort of calculations and stuff. The same sort of way you'd have to analyze the documents of people in Papers, Please. Like it's almost like the bureaucracy, but it's you're controlling a an artillery cannon instead of the border gateway of a country.
Yeah, the only thing you don't control, at least as far as I played in the demo, is where the walker is on the map. And I didn't realize that the cannon that you're in, or this turret that you're in, is mobile. So, like, the second day that you wake up, the turret's already moving. So, like, the whole screen's, like, doing this, like, and all you hear is, like, boom, 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 because it's like a walker. You're like, what the fuck is happening? And then, eventually it stops and everything calms down, and you're like, what was that?
Oh, I just realized what else this reminds me of. Do you remember those PSAs of the robot going through that industrial zone, and it gets its arm sliced off, and it's like, I could put my arm back on, you can't. So play safe.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
This looks like that industrial site with all the pistons and stuff going around.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, but so there's the paper that you get with the instructions from your government, and it's cool because you have like a little clipboard, and all you have to do is click on pieces of information on the board that you have, and it will instantly copy it to your clipboard, so you can take it with you just like that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like memorize things or type them out or anything like that. You just copy them, and you can easily delete them
Your
from
your clipboard is a literal clipboard.
Yeah, it's a literal clipboard. Yeah, it's really cool. Very, very like everything. I'm actually really surprised because when I was playing it, I was like, this is well thought out, and well made, and just really crisp. And I didn't encounter any bugs, no glitches, no visual problems.
These people have probably
clean.
been working on it forever.
I'm thinking that, or the demo itself is like a passion project, and the rest of the game it just doesn't exist. And they're like, the game will come out at some point. But yeah, it's interesting that this beat PVKK to the punch. I'm very interested to see what that game feels like when that one comes around. But yeah, Iron Nest. Check it out.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
It's very, 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 very cool. Very, very cool. And that's all I got. Andrew.
Yes.
Do you know what time it is?
No, I have no idea. 8 o'clock, maybe?
It's letter time! It's letter time. Indeed. Josh. Just Josh. Writes in.
Josh.
Just Josh. Not even just Josh. Josh.
Josh. Yeah.
Writes in. What games... It's plain and simple, yeah. Nothing clever this time. What games were you disappointed didn't show up this year at the Summer of Gaming conferences?
Honestly, nothing, because there was already like so much. It was overwhelming enough as it was.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything I was supposedly disappointed didn't show up. I think there was definitely some ones where I was like, huh, that didn't show up? That's weird. But I wouldn't say I was... No. No.
Well, I'm not disappointed that it didn't show up because I wasn't expecting it to.
Yeah. I think I was more surprised at certain things not showing up, like Hunter's Gathering, the Horizon multiplayer game. I'm baffled that wasn't there. And Fair Games. Like
Fair Game, there's no way. Fair Games is never happening. It's never ever happening.
But they trademarked something called Break-In right before the Summer of Gaming, and so everyone was like, "Are they rebranding that game?" And then it didn't show up, and we're like, "So what the hell was Break-In? What was that all about? Was that just bad timing?" So that one was a little weird to me. I do have a tracker here. Let me take a quick look and see what we don't know still after all of that craziness. So there is a lot of games that are still scheduled for 2026 that don't have a release date at all. They have not been updated yet. The Dusklights, which we did talk about on the show. That one's weird. They're like, hey, here's the game you've already seen. We're going to have a playtest later in the summer. Bye. Very strange. Yeah. Path of Exile 2. I didn't expect it to be there. They kind of do their own thing. But that game looks amazing. It's supposed to come out this year. It still doesn't have a date. And the version right now that the early access is in is 0.5. So I don't understand how you're going to get... I mean, unless you just skip versions 6, 7, 8, 9.
Version numbering is completely nonsensical and arbitrary. Yeah, it doesn't follow any rules.
Yeah, could be useless. Tides of Annihilation didn't show up, which I thought was surprising. That was that crazy anime game. Kena 2. We didn't get any updates on Kena 2. That game's supposed to be coming this year. It's a little weird that it didn't show up here. Crimson Moon, another one that was kind of strange. We know that's coming this year, but no release date. Turok, that one I was surprised wasn't at the show because that's supposed to be out this year too.
We saw some footage of it.
We've seen it. We saw like a trailer, but not at this showcase though. Not at least not that was in any of the showcases. If there was some coverage of it, I must have just missed it.
Didn't they talk about it during the PC gaming show? I feel like they.
Turok Origin.
I feel like they showed that.
Let me see. Nope.
No?
Oh. No. Oh, yep. It was play.
Okay, make up your mind.
Okay. It was so it wasn't on any of the showcases. It was playable at the what do they call that thing? Play days, Summer Game Fest play days, where they invite media to come play the game.
Okay, so it was technically there.
It was technically there. It just didn't get much in the way of coverage, which is kind of strange. I don't know, but that's weird. That can't be a good sign about that game.
Yeah.
Not that I had high hopes for that game anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
Witchbrook didn't show up, which I found strange. There's a lot of hype behind that game. That's the Stardew Valley where you're a witch in like a Hogwarts kind of a location. Yeah, I think that's it for 2026. There's a lot of like smaller games that are still scheduled for 2026, but nothing that I would point out. Unknown games that we haven't seen. You mentioned Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5, whatever they're working on. I guess the rumor is that Obsidian has moved to Fallout, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
Not a confirmation. There's no confirmation of that, but that is the rumor. Because I remember them saying that the Outer Worlds was done. Like they're done with that, and they're done with Avowed. So I guess maybe it could just be speculation and not actually based on any facts. But
yeah, it almost sounds more like wishful thinking to me.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not working on Avowed 2 or Outer Worlds 3, maybe. I mean, it makes sense from a speculation standpoint that Microsoft would be like, all right, we got to get you guys on IP that people care about. The next Mass Effect, fuck. Oh, Star Wars Eclipse. Where's that game? Jesus, that's the Quantic Dream.
Which
game.
one is that?
It's the Quantic Dream game.
Oh God, I was afraid you were going to say that.
Yeah, where is it?
Oh,
Jesus.
No, you know what? Good. Don't just no.
Oh, that's funny.
I can't wait to fucking dodge every single piece of furniture in my apartment, but in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, someone's gonna be using the Force throwing shit at you.
That actually does make sense. I mean, Vader does do that to Luke in Empire Strikes Back, so it would actually make more sense there.
There you go. Hello Games' next game, Light No Fire, was announced 3 years ago.
Oh, right.
We still haven't seen that. That's a little weird. But I'm sure they've learned from their mistakes, and they're not going to show that game until it's ready to go.
Yeah.
You can't do that twice. So
yeah, you no way that you can go through what they went through with No Man's Sky and not learn a valuable lesson from that.
Seems like a bad idea to not learn from that. Yeah.
Do not overhype.
We didn't see Intergalactic, Naughty Dog's new game, but I didn't expect it to be there, so I'm not disappointed. I think we'll see it at the Game Awards. You know. Okami 2.
I mean, that was only announced a little while ago, so it's probably too early to show anything.
Yeah, I think so too. Witcher 4, that game's years away.
I don't know if it's years away. They look like they've made some serious progress on it.
Yeah, but this is the company that delayed Cyberpunk like 8 times.
Yeah.
They might say it's coming out in 2028, but I'll believe it when it's
they've already shown so much of that game. Maybe they feel like
no,
it's
they haven't.
time to...
Witcher 4? They haven't done a gameplay reveal for that game.
They've shown tons of stuff with the like the town that they showed off at it was part of like this Unreal
oh
event
yeah, no, you're remembering incorrectly. So that was a Unreal Engine 5 demo that utilized Witcher 4 assets, but it is not Witcher 4.
Wasn't it using the town building system that they'd come up with for their game to make the environments like more
maybe? But they were.
I know that they've said that this was a demonstration and wouldn't necessarily be in the final game, but wasn't it using the tech that they'd built for that game?
I think so, but I mean that might mean that they're still building the technical aspects of the game. Like that might mean that they're still. If I had to guess on that game's release date, I'd say 2029 minimum. I'd be shocked if it's any earlier than that. I think it might be like a cross-gen title.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Maybe even a next-gen only title. Who knows? We'll see. So there's Witcher 4. Jurassic Park Survival. I really want to see that game. Damn. We We haven't seen anything from that game. Oh, Judas. Ken Levine's next game. The Bioshock like that takes place in space.
Yeah. The Bioshock like that takes us. You mean System Shock?
Yes, System. Well, yeah, System Shock. I never played System Shock. I know Bioshock.
We've
That's
gone
right.
full circle now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to see Divinity. We're not going to see Fate of the Old Republic. We're not going to see Warlock. We're not going to see Force 3. 4-Loop? Yeah, that game's going to go. I think that game's going to go quiet until it's ready. We did see No Law, but that was at the Unreal conference, which we're not covering today. But did you watch the Unreal conference?
No.
No. I checked out a little bit of it. It was more for developers.
When was that? I didn't even know about that.
It was earlier this week. They did like a Unreal 5.8 reveal.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was the kind of thing like where they showed off the Witcher stuff, but more recent, I guess.
And not as interesting.
Yeah.
That being said, No Law. Remember that game when that game got announced? That's like the we both compared it to like that kind of looks like Cyberpunk.
Yes.
That game is using a lot of the new Unreal tech. I guess the game is going for like density over scale. So the city is not as large as you might expect from an open world game, but every single square meter of that game in that city has something in it. And all of
that's what Shenmue was like. Not super huge in terms of geography, but very densely packed with like you could go into so many of the buildings, like there were all the like the shops and stuff, and you could pick stuff up off the shelves and actually examine them in your hand and stuff. It was about focusing in on the sort of the micro details of a larger space.
Apparently it's kind of like a mix between Fable and like Fallout. I guess every citizen in the city has an apartment or a home that you can visit. You can actually follow them home and they'll go there. And you can actually kill every single NPC in the game and they are permanently dead and their body does not disappear until it's taken away by, I guess, like the city's like investigatory crew. I don't know what you would call like their law enforcement and ambulances and stuff. Like everything that gets destroyed in the game is permanently destroyed, I guess. Like it's like if you break down someone's door, the door is permanently gone until they replace it, but they don't replace like the same door doesn't spawn. You'll come back and it'll be like
a different door,
like
or something.
Well, no, it'll look like a fresh door, like a fresh new door that's different from the first one. Like same thing with the windows. They'll replace the windows eventually, but like everything's kind of got this sense of permanence. So that game's kind of interesting. I'm kind of more curious about that game now after the tech that they showed off there.
I'll have to watch that because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, no law tech demo for Unreal Engine. Check that out. Bradley the Badger. We didn't see that. Coven of the Chicken Foot. We didn't see that. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is too soon, in my opinion. So, I think the biggest disappointments, honestly, were just some of the studios, the first-party studios that just still haven't shown up. Media Molecule, what the fuck are they doing? Haven, what the fuck are they doing? Bend, what the fuck are they doing? I don't know. We don't know what they're doing. So I think that was my biggest disappointment. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good show, and everything was kind of there. So thank you for rating it.
Yeah, like I said, it was there was already so much stuff. I'm not fussed about anything not showing up. I've already got enough to keep track of.
Yeah.
And by keep track of, I mean letting you keep track of it. Because there's just so much.
Yep,
Man, my brain can't handle all that.
I have 2 different documents that track games. So yeah, I've done that, but I did that before the show even existed. I always like tracking.
Oh yeah, you've long had a cataloging system for game information.
Yep, it's fun. Said only nerds. All right. It's time for the Metacritic Check-In.
Thank you for writing in, by the way, Josh.
Yes, indeed. All right. So we actually have some Metacritic Check-Ins to get to this time. So I've never heard of this game. Have you? The Seventh Guest?
Yeah, that's a classic.
So
This is the remake.
it's got a remake. I've never heard of this game, but it's making some waves.
How have you? Okay, that's weird because this is a classic like PC sort of investigative, kind of like Myst in a way. It's got a horror theme. You're in a haunted house, and all of these people are ghosts that you're trying to talk to and figure out what's
and they're like
happened
live
here.
action, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Which is another way that it's like Myst.
Yeah, it looks very pretty.
Mm.
I would say early reviews, but I guess I just missed this. It was released on June 4th, so it's been out for a little bit, but no one's covering it for some reason. But the people that do say it's pretty good. I guess.
I mean, I expect it's based on a good game, so
I guess the VR version is getting a lot more praise than the non-VR version, but merged together, it's sitting at a 75. So maybe I'll check it out. I don't know if I'm in the mood for a walking simulator, though. Would you consider Myst a walking simulator?
Maybe Real Myst, the one where you actually walk around in real time and don't just transition between images.
I've always struggled with that because I'm like, I've always considered Myst a puzzle game.
It is a puzzle game. It's a puzzle game where you move around.
So is The Witness. So I guess but you wouldn't consider The Witness a walking simulator. That's a puzzle.
No, just because it has walking doesn't mean it's a walking simulator.
Yeah.
It's just getting you from one puzzle to the next.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, The Seventh Guest, that's been out that's like a DOS game originally.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I might have to check that out. All right. Next up on the Metacritic Check-In is the Gothic remake.
Yeah, I've heard it's good.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. I'm actually a little surprised. Critically 74, user score 86. So it's doing pretty well. I never played the original. I did play the demo. I think the demo was a mistake. I think
was the demo rough?
I think the demo should have been labeled as like an alpha play test or something like that because oh my god, that demo was awful. Like it was not polished. It was early. I was like, if this is like I know all demos are not subject to being like the final product, but I was like,
like unless they're released alongside the finished game, then they need to be considered a work in progress.
Yeah, this one was definitely a work in progress. In fact, I hope they took the demo down that people.
Some of them even have a permanent work in progress message burned into the footage.
Yeah, and they should have done
when
that.
you're playing, it's just there. Yeah.
It looks cool though. I don't know whether I'll play it. Is it co-op? Do we know if it's co-op?
I don't actually know.
Is Gothic remake co-op? No, strictly single player. Bummer. Okay, probably won't be as interested then.
Yeah, I've heard the Gothic games are good, but it's kind of daunting to play because they're kind of like the Elder Scrolls games, I guess. Yeah. And it's like, oh, there's 3 of them. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'll just have to set aside a few months of my life for each.
Well, this way, I mean, because I think they're remaking all of them. So
if this one does well, I'm sure they'll do.
And they're releasing the original remastered for some strange reason as well. I don't know why.
Well, for people who want to compare. Preservation.
Why didn't you just release it alongside this? Like, why is it coming out 2 months later? Weird.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's not out now. That's strange.
No, let me double check. I think they're calling it Gothic Classic. Yeah, Gothic Classic.
I mean, technically, you can get the original game on Steam. So
July 28th.
You don't want to wait.
So I don't know why they're waiting. Very weird.
Yeah.
So that's that. If there's a real demo, I'll give it a go. But yeah, I don't know. Next up is a game that I talked about already, Voidling Bound. I played the demo for this. This is the one where you're the spaceman who collects monsters and uses a VR helmet to take control of the monsters and fight with them. It's doing really well. 77 Metacritic score, 82 user score. So
okay,
doing quite well. Might have to check it out. Next up is a game that I was concerned about, but really enjoyed the demo for the most part. I have no idea what we're looking at here. Oh god, it's just
Just somebody's comedy routine in front of the.
no. I'll let it play. I did not realize how stupid that's this game. Adventures of Elliot.
Okay.
Why that was there, I don't know. That was part of the commercial, I guess. Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. Critically 79, user score 92.
Wow.
So
the thing I've heard about that game is exactly what you told me, which is the characters
fucking
do
annoying.
not shut up and are really annoying.
That being said, apparently they did add the ability to turn the volume off on just that character. So
that's usually a bad sign for your writing if you need to offer that as an option. But it's better than not having it.
In the patch notes, I guess they said like as much as we love how well our voice actors did, we understand that some of you think they maybe talk a little bit too much. So we've added the setting to have them talk often, talk less, or turning off their volume entirely. Now, I don't think that it turns off the text dialogue.
Whatever.
Because when they talk, text dialogue appears too. Yeah, I don't know what it is with these types of games that think that we want to hear someone talk the whole time when we're. I don't know. It's annoying. I might get this. I feel like I want to, but there's something keeping me from it. I'm not sure. Beyond the annoying voices. I'm not sure what it is. But play the demo. See for yourself. And then, I put this in here for shits and giggles. EA Sports UFC 6 is out. Doing pretty well, actually. 81. And that's it for the Metacritic Check-In.
I have no comments on that.
I played UFC Undisputed back in the day, and it was really, really good. But then they switched developers, and it went to shit. So I don't know if this is good or not. It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
I don't really have any interest in the gameplay.
No. Oh, there's my back. That's it for the Metacritic Check-In. All right. Let's get into the news. And we're starting off with sad news because that's the way we do things around here. Let's get it out of the way. The creator of Doom's music, the Doom composer, Bobby Prince, has passed away at the age of 81. He was also behind the music of Duke Nukem 3D.
He was one of the composers on Duke Nukem 3D. There was also Lee Jackson, which is also the case for Rise of the Triad. They both shared composition duties on that game. But yeah, he did a bunch of music for that sort of era of PC gaming. Which listen, to be completely honest, there's a good chunk of that is, I'm not going to say plagiarized, but definitely inspired by contemporary hard rock and heavy metal. It's one of those things where it's like we changed it just enough to not be, a ripoff, but it's like you can definitely hear like the Pantera in there. You can definitely hear the Metallica in there. Yeah.
The article reads, the legendary video game musician passed away Tuesday, June 16th. His family has confirmed. In an obituary posted following his death, they say that they wish to express their deepest gratitude to the countless Earth Angels at Dollywood and beyond, whose prayers, kindness, encouragement, and loving care surrounded Bobby throughout his illness. The details of his illness were not specified. Even some of the most casual video game enjoyers have likely heard Prince's work in games before. For example, he helped shape the atmosphere for the video games in the 90s through his work on projects like Wolfenstein 3D in 1992 and Duke Nukem 2 in 1993. I don't remember Duke Nukem 2. Why don't I know?
It was a side-scroller.
That would be why.
Duke Nukem 1 and 2 were both side-scrolling platforming games.
Oh, wow.
The series didn't really take off until Duke Nukem 3D. I played the original Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem 2. And I
Didn't
was
even
like,
know that was a
wow.
thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. And when Duke Nukem 3D came out, I was like, wow, they're just putting titties in this game now.
Oh, I get
that's
it.
not
Duke Nukem 3D.
E.
Oh,
And what was supposed to be the fourth
clever.
game was going to be Duke Nukem Forever, but that obviously
Oh,
didn't end up
God.
being the fourth game.
No. No, it didn't.
Also, I just want to clarify, I'm not saying that everything that Bobby Prince did was like thinly veiled copies of other people's music. I'm just acknowledging that was the case for Doom.
Remember when was it the Summer Games Fest or award game show where they had the Doom band play? It was sick. I can't remember.
Yeah, I forget which one it was.
I think it was
yeah.
the Game Awards. I was sick. Oh, so good. The article continues. Prince then went on to truly leave his mark on the gaming space as composer for both Doom and Doom 2, which both feature metal-infused soundtracks that have influenced not only recent Doom entries but countless other games for decades. He also worked on Duke Nukem 3D, Realms of Chaos, and Rise of the Triad. After his career in games saw him working with developers like id Software and 3D Realms, the Doom soundtrack was inducted into the National Recording Registry just 2 months ago. At the time, a spokesperson said the game's adrenaline-fueled soundtrack was key to its popularity. I would agree with that. It continues, but R.I.P. Bobby Prince. Thank you for your contributions to the gaming industry.
Yes. Even if not all of them were 100% yours. Listen, man, I gotta be real with this stuff, but like, I will say they are like good reinterpretations of a lot of these songs, legally distinct and have a mood of their own. Some of them are like there's one that's just Them Bones by Alice in Chains, and I'm honestly not sure how they didn't get sued for that one because it's like 1-to-1. But there's some legal technicalities or something. But anyway, yes. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. All right, this is a 3-article long next segment, and you know what's coming.
Oh yeah.
It's all about Xbox. So hold on to your knickers. We're going deep on this one. So Xbox has had a bad week, and it's going to have a really...
When have they not had a bad week lately?
I was listening to... well, I didn't finish listening to it, but Ryan McCaffrey's podcast. He's the IGN Unlocked podcast host. He's been covering them for ages, and he's like, when will Xbox stop stepping on a rake?
That's got to be a depressing job to have.
Oh my god, yeah.
Although, what am I talking about? We cover this stuff and we don't get paid for it.
That's true. It must be a great job. What are you talking about?
Yeah, at least it gets compensated for the misery.
It's true. So things started off badly earlier this week, but it continues to get worse, and it's going to get worse if anything, if the reports are anything to go by.
Yep.
But there is slightly a silver lining. We'll get to it. So let's start with the initial news. 2 of Microsoft's most senior managers overseeing Xbox Game Studios are departing. Head of Xbox Game Studios Craig Duncan and Chief of Staff Louise O'Connor are leaving Xbox after decades at the firm. Both previously served long tenures at celebrated British studio Rare, which Duncan headed up for more than 10 years. The departures were first reported today, as of this article being written, by the game business. No reason was given for their joint exit, though it comes at a time of intense concern for the future of Xbox Game Studios and its many staff members, after a dire warning from the new Xbox boss, Asha Sharma, some of which you're calling Queen of Green right now, which I like, over the division's slim profit margin. Sharma's comments have been taken by many as a public warning that job losses are imminent, and indeed, a Bloomberg report signaled that layoffs would happen as soon as next month. Fans are particularly concerned over the fate of several smaller teams that have not shipped a game in years, but we'll get into that in a moment. Duncan joined Rare in 2011 and led the company through its period where it was best known for Kinect Sports to launch the hugely successful Sea of Thieves. O'Connor, meanwhile, previously headed up the now-canceled fantasy RPG project Everwild at Rare, following decades of service that began back in 1999 as an animator on the potty-mouthed N64 adventure Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I bet that was a fun one to do.
Indeed. Without Duncan and O'Connor, Xbox Game Studio leaders will now report directly into Xbox Chief Content Officer Matt Booty for the time being, their positions remaining unfilled for now. So that's bad piece of information number one. And that's sort of the canary,
appetizer.
the canary in the
what
coal
comes
mine.
next.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another good metaphor.
So a new report.
This is like the 10th canary we've had in as many weeks, though.
Yeah.
We're just wiping out entire lineages of birds. And by we, I mean Xbox.
Just a genocide. Yeah. A new report suggests Xbox layoff will result likely in a, quote, bloodbath of job losses and studio closures, leaving developers punished for simply following Microsoft's orders. Word of Xbox staff redundancies and development studio shutdowns is now rife, following an ominous warning from newly installed Xbox CEO Asher Sharma that the console maker's slim profit margin was no longer sustainable. While it had been reported that Xbox studios, such as South of Midnight maker Compulsion Games, Kiln and Keeper developer Double Fine, and Hellblade Helmer and Ninja Theory are just some of the teams now facing shutdown, the exact details remain unclear and unfinalized. Microsoft is believed to be timing the layoffs with the end of its financial year, which is June 30th. With talks ongoing among studio bosses over which companies could be sold off, spun out, or kept open independently, even if this still results in numerous job losses. Now, in a new report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, of course, good old Jason, whoever he knows, he knows.
He knows a lot of people.
He knows a lot of people who don't want to keep quiet. The veteran reporter claimed that the word bloodbath has been thrown around among people I talk to who know what's going to happen. It's going to be bad. Schreier's report also delves into the background of why these layoffs are happening now and suggests that the Xbox teams have struggled to adapt as Microsoft's attitudes to gaming and demands of its development teams have shifted over the years.
Yeah, I want to add something.
Yeah.
So we're recording this on the night of the 19th.
Yes.
By the time this episode goes up on YouTube, the story may have changed. If
who knows?
They're expected to do layoffs by June 30th, those might start happening by the time this episode goes online.
You would think it wouldn't be on a weekend, but it might be on a Monday. It might be on a Monday. Who knows? Yeah, it's imminent. Like, boom, there's a nuke is about to go off at Xbox. Let's see here.
What really kills us, like for me, is that like Ninja Theory just announced a new game.
So
and this story came out like a week after that.
So this is the silver lining that I was talking about, in which Asher Sharma is apparent. Again, this is all rumor and speculation. This is through Jason Schreier. So like, what pieces of information we have that are correct or misunderstood, or there could be a lot that we don't know, right? We do know that where there's smoke, there's fire. It's just the finer details that we don't quite know yet. But I guess the report is that Asher Sharma is working with studios that are in danger to try and find them a new home, kind of like they did with Tokyo Gameworks.
Or potentially give them the opportunity to basically buy themselves out.
Yeah,
but even then, that's going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, the problem with that is that if they do buy themselves out, they still have to find somebody to finance them afterwards. So if Microsoft can't find someone to buy them, the chances are they're not going to be able to do so on their own. Maybe. Because maybe once they sever ties with Microsoft, someone will be knocking on their door going, okay, you're not connected to them anymore. We'll talk. That's possible, but that's a fucking gamble. But what's the alternative? Just be laid off. So it might be worth doing, or it might just be worth talking to all your employees and being like, if they shut us down, we're just going to reopen under a different name.
Yeah, but are they still going to have the Hellblade IP, or is that going to stay with Microsoft?
Right, and that's the question, right? That's that's part of the finer details that we don't understand. I would assume that they can probably take it, because I don't see why Microsoft would give two shits about any of those IP.
Whether or not they give two shits now, it could be one of those things like, oh, we could sell it off later. Like maybe we'll sell it off to Embracer Group later or something.
Yeah,
right?
It's possible.
It's
I
unlikely that they
assume
would just give away the IP.
n- y- no. Well, I mean, if they buy themselves out, I would assume the price of the IP
If
would
they
come
buy
with it.
themselves out, they might be able to get it.
Yeah,
But if they reform as like a new company and not just
it,
as independent Ninja Theory, yeah,
they'd have to
it's
do something new. Yeah, entirely
yeah.
new. Um, the other thing that's incredibly crazy to me now, not necessarily crazy, but apparently what's now on the table officially, according to this report, is that they are considering selling Xbox completely, just
Oh,
cutting ties,
just giving up.
just giving up, selling off all their product and moving on.
Who would even be able to afford that? They'd have to like sell it off piece by piece.
Yeah, I don't think they would just be like, let's sell Xbox. Because the only company that could afford that would be like Embracer, and they're not going to do that again because they've already fucked that up.
I don't even know if they could, because like,
I mean, they're
there's no
backed
way
by the Saudi government. I'm sure they could.
I mean, maybe, but like when you consider like the value of the Activision purchase and the Bethesda purchase, and you know all these,
They're going to have to take a
like,
loss. No
they're
doubt.
gonna have to take a loss, but like they're gonna be like, we'll sell it for $100 billion, and nobody's gonna take them up on that.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll piecemeal it out if that ends up being the
Probably.
case. The other possibility on the table, which I find a little stranger, is that they spin off Xbox. So to those that don't understand what that means, essentially right now Xbox is a part of Microsoft. It's
a division.
It's a division within Microsoft. If they spin it out and make Xbox its own company, then basically whatever funds they currently have is what they have, and if they survive, they survive. If they don't, they don't. They don't get more funding from Xbox. They're just their own thing. If they can't survive on their own, then they got to deal with it. That kind of a situation, which maybe is possibly the best outcome. I don't even know what the best outcome is with those three options. I just think that if they give up, this industry's in trouble. If they give up, and
Well, there's no way that they can give up. Like they can't just say, "Oh, we're shutting down," and then like all the Activision studios shut down and all that stuff.
no. I mean, like selling off their by giving up.
Yeah.
I mean like selling off all the shit. Because if we lose the Xbox brand, and I know that the value of the Xbox brand right now is at an all-time low. It's obvious, but if we go to a world where there is only Nintendo and PlayStation in the console market, I fear for the industry if that's the case. You need competition to breed the best out of companies like this. And if they're just king of the mountain and there's nobody to care,
they're not going to be motivated to do anything better. They're not going to be motivated to like price more competitively. Yeah, they can just do whatever.
Yeah, and I have this discussion occasionally with Cult 2K on our Wrestling Renaissance podcast, where WWE right now doesn't give a shit about their product. They don't give two fucks about anything they're doing right now because they are dominating. They're not afraid of anything right now. They're like, what? The second place is in like. It's like 80% lower than us. Like we're on top of the world. We're untouchable.
Yeah, well, that's why they bought out their biggest competition. Like in the '90s,
WCW.
their biggest competition was WCW, and then they just bought it out.
Yeah, and then it's just been ever since TKO bought them. It's just been like a fucking a runaway train. They're making money hand over fist, so they don't give a shit about the product because they're making money anyway. So they're not putting any effort into it. And that's exactly what would happen if PlayStation ends up winning. They're going to be like, why do we have all these first party studios? Why are we spending $300 million on a Last of Us game? Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, the Last of Us games sell well, but they're not what makes them the most money. What makes them the most money is third party games, and live service games. So, what would their motivation be to make first party games anymore if they're the only one besides Nintendo that's making a console? Yeah, there is this creeping factor that we're getting with the Steam machine and stuff like that, but I'm still not convinced that Steam is going to penetrate the console market because that's not who they are. That's not what they do. And they're only selling their products through their own store. So I I don't consider them as considered a console yet, unless they change their ways.
It's a different situation for sure.
Yeah, it's not a console. It's a PC, but it's
Yeah,
a PC.
It's a living room PC.
Yeah.
It's a PC that you hook up to your TV and you play from the couch. But it's still a PC.
It's still a PC, right? So I just don't think they're going to pierce that market. I think that market is going to stick to Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox. And if we don't have an Xbox, that means we're essentially as hardcore gamers, as hardcore console gamers, we now only have one option, which in theory is a good thing because now we don't have to worry about exclusives. We just get everything. I mean, besides Nintendo stuff, because they don't want to give up their IP either. No. But now we're two consoles. I mean, that's it.
It's like
it's scary.
The Switch is effectively the handheld. Even though you can connect it to the TV, it's kind of like comparing, the DS to the PlayStation 2. They're competing, but they're not really competing in the same space. Yeah,
they're not. No, Nintendo's its own thing. It's always been its own thing, and it's much more casual than the PlayStation is, especially at the prices that we have.
I wouldn't say that necessarily. But it is they are definitely targeting sort of a different
demographic, a different
demographic. Yeah, they're not pushing to have like the most high fidelity versions of games. I think they kind of learned their lesson with the N64 that being the most powerful does not make you the most successful.
No.
Yeah. But yeah,
this is scary. This is scary. Yeah. If you were to tell me at the beginning of this Asher Sharma thing, was this potentially going to happen? I would have been like, maybe, but I think they're going to give it a good couple of years with her in power and give it a good go and see what happens. But we're already on the table with potentially selling company. Like, holy shit, they're already at that point. Okay. Oh, also the silver lining of the companies are not just being shut down; they're potentially being sold, spun off, whatever. That's good stuff that keeps employees on board.
Hopefully, if they don't have to downsize to afford that. Yeah.
It is the best case scenario, I guess, for when corporations like this have to downsize. The other thing is that apparently the reason that they showed off Senua in Ninja Theory's case is to give them something to sell them to another company, so that they would have a product
but that's
out there.
Still like,
which apparently means that they'd be willing to sell the IP.
I guess, but it's still an incredibly shitty thing. It's like, oh, we're not showing off a new Hellblade game because we believe in it. We're selling off a new Hellblade game to raise the potential asking price of these people that we don't really plan to keep around.
I see your view change there. Yeah, because I was more like, it gives them a higher chance of being bought. But your
it's like
point
taking
of view is
an abused dog, and instead of selling it when it's in like really rough shape, you like clean it up just so it doesn't look abused. That's maybe a bit of a morbid comparison, but like this to me does not say, oh, we're trying to help them out. This is, we're trying to get more money for what we're selling off.
Interesting take. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, now you got me thinking. It's very interesting. If we look at Xbox's studios, let's see who's in danger. Coalition? Nah, they're fine. That's the Gears of War team.
I would say that everyone is technically in danger.
I can't see the Coalition being... They're making Gears of War. They're fine. They're not going anywhere. Obsidian... I don't think so. Grounded sells like crazy. I think they're okay. I think they're all right. And they have the pedigree to make Fallout and Elder Scrolls games if they want them to. So I think they have their use. Arcane Lion, they might be fucked. They might be fucked. That's the Redfall studio. So yeah, that studio might be fucked. In Exile with Clockwork Revolution, I don't think so. They just made a big deal that this is a console exclusive. it seems unlikely that they're going to pull the plug.
Yeah, but at the same time, it also seems unlikely that they'd announce or be talking about getting rid of Ninja Theory after announcing a game. So, you know,
I can understand the reasoning behind that, though, if that's the report.
yeah,
With Clockwork
it's
Revolution, they highlighted it as their final game of the showcase, so I don't think they're in trouble. I think they're fine.
I guess I don't really feel like anything is beyond the pale for the situation that Xbox is in. Like this feels like kind of a catastrophe.
I mean, maybe layoffs. That's possible.
Well, beyond maybe. I mean, layoffs would be par for the course with Xbox. This almost feels like, kind of like the last days of Sega, where we didn't have the very public view into the troubles that were happening at Sega in the latter part of the 90s. We do kind of have them for Xbox here.
Yeah. Playground's fine. They're the fucking Horizon team. They're making them shitloads of money. They're fine. And Fable's coming out next year. As we just saw there. That's pretty. Bethesda's fine. I mean, they'd be foolish to sell off Bethesda. That would be insane. I can't imagine that being the case. Double Fine. They are marked as one of the ones in trouble already. That makes total sense to me. Unfortunately, as legendary of a studio as it is, they're not sellers. Keeper, Kiln.
Yeah, well, they don't make yearly franchise games. They make games with like heart and passion. And,
for sure. And I'm not saying this from an
general
artistic
interest.
standpoint.
So of course they're on the chopping block because they're not it's not like, oh, we can pump out 7 Spider-Man movies. It's like, no, this is a weirdo art house game studio.
I mean, from a business standpoint, I can't blame
From
them.
a business standpoint, but like if you're in the business of creativity, God forbid you have some consideration from the creativity. But of course, that's not what the investors want.
No, but I mean, if you have
listen, I can understand the logic and still say that these people are like just dicks.
Someone's got to make the tough decisions, I guess. I mean, if you're going to have a company this big, I don't know, man.
The division of Microsoft, $1 trillion company. We oh man.
I mean,
we have to lay off a bunch of people.
To be fair, we don't know how much money this brand has lost.
Yeah, but this is Microsoft.
That's not true. We know $100 billion at least this company's lost.
This is Microsoft. If the CEOs and all these big companies, if all the people at the top said, we'll take a big salary cut, because these people, they get paid millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, I'm not defending the fact that the CEOs make way too much money. That's definitely true.
Yeah. I'm saying that's where they could tighten their belt instead of getting rid of studios or laying people off. But of course, they're never going to do that.
But is that if a studio like Double Fine is not making money, you're just putting a Band-Aid and you're kicking the can down the road until they continuously lose you money, and then you're gonna have to close them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like a studio has to make money. It's a business. It
is a business.
So you're just like if you're like, I understand if you're a billionaire, could you keep a company open that doesn't make money? Yeah. Why would you? Just for the art? I mean, sure, that's cool, but if no one buys your product,
well, the thing is, when you're that rich, I think you can afford to say, yeah,
sure,
this studio doesn't make us like 10 times what we spend on them every year, but they make interesting stuff, and we make so much money from other parts of the company. Maybe we can subsidize these guys because they make really interesting games.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible.
It's art, like at a certain point, it's like, well, what use does art have? Does it grow food? Does it, water your crops? No, it's there to enjoy things. So, if you want to break it down into, it has to do this tangibly productive thing, you could reduce it down to saying, oh, art is useless because it doesn't do anything. It's just appreciated.
Well, here's the argument I would make against that is that PlayStation has first party studios that make stuff like God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted, you name them. They make money, and they are very much considered art. So you can have both, and maybe you need both. Maybe at a certain point you have to say, you guys lose us money every year. What are you? What are you?
Well,
What
does Double Fine actively lose them money, or do
I
they
don't
just
know.
not make like ungodly amounts of money? Because
I don't know.
there's a difference between being like a loss and just not being as much as of a gain as the shareholders want.
Well, this is the problem, right? Is that they don't share their books, right? So we have no idea. But you would
Yeah.
assume if these three companies are on the chopping block, they're the ones not making money. And if you look at their product history,
I would not assume that.
why not? You tell me that
Because this
Hellblade 2
industry,
made money?
well, I'm telling you that this industry is just full of people who don't just want to make money; they want to make more money than they did last year. You know, if you make $1 million this year, you got to make 2 million next year, and then 3 million the year after that.
Sure. Sure, that's possible. I can't say that's not possible, that that's the case. But you can't say it's not the case that they're not making any money either. They might be just not making money.
We don't know.
No.
The thing is that you are assuming good faith, and I'm just assuming
Yes.
greed.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Well,
both of those things.
I don't
could be
think I'm
true.
assuming good faith. I think I'm assuming
That it's not completely inexcusable. That there might be a legitimate reason.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, I've played all the games that they're talking about, right? I played Hellblade 2. I played Keeper. I played...
And for the record, I don't disagree with you. There could be a good reason. Maybe Double Fine really is losing the money. It's just that we don't know, and just given the fact that Microsoft is willing to shed employees by the hundreds for, you know, just whatever reason, I'm just not in the habit of giving them credit at this point, you know? I've
Actually, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
whatever goodwill that I might have had, they've bled away long ago. So I'm just kind of conditioned to assuming the worst, because the worst seems to be what happens with them all the time these days, you know?
Yeah. I would say that closing, as taking the art out of it, closing Double Fine makes 10 times more sense to me than closing Blue Point. That made no sense to me whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Like Demon Souls remake sold really well.
From a financial standpoint, sure.
Yeah.
But
so like these ones, especially Ninja Theory, I mean,
I try to look at things from a financial standpoint as little as possible, because it's just too easy to fall into the looking at things purely as math equations and not as people losing their jobs.
Oh, sure. I mean, from
in
a utopia, these companies are you know what I'm saying? Philanthropists, and they don't lay people off. They figure out a way to keep everybody employed, and they move them around. They do whatever they.
And I don't think it even needs to be a utopia for them to do that.
No,
but
unfortunately, America is far from a utopia.
Yeah, it's not even whatever the middle ground between utopia and dystopia is. Just like a decent place.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, completely agree.
And I mean that's not even exclusive to America. That's just business at a certain standpoint. But it like, I'm generally speaking, I'm far less sympathetic to this kind of behavior from a huge company than I am from a small company. Because a small company could go out of business from that kind of stuff.
And to be clear, I'm not sympathetic at all to Xbox's own caused problems. I mean, this is everything. Like I've said before, everything bad that has happened to them has been their own. It's their own fault. Exactly. So
they are the Kratos of the gaming industry.
Yeah, I'm not saying any of these things from a sympathetic standpoint. I'm saying it from I can understand who on this block is on the chopping block.
Why they would do that?
Yeah, which is why I don't think Playground Games is on the chopping block.
I think it's unhealthy to put yourself in that headspace, though. Do not think like the monsters.
Oh yeah, I think it's healthy to do it so that you understand how the world works. I think is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Not to be cold, because I'm not a cold person.
No.
But I can understand why they're thinking the way they're doing, because they're not organized in a way that and led by people that make good decisions.
Yeah,
I think is a good way to put it. Which is why I don't think Playground is in danger. Undead Labs, they might be in danger. As much as they, have put State of Decay 3 out and we seem to be on a path towards that game releasing, they're taking too much time. It's been too long.
Yeah.
So they might be on the chopping block. Bethesda's fine. Double Fine, like I said, probably on the chopping block. Their games just don't... They're coming out with games, they just don't sell well. Like Keeper came, and it went. Kiln came, no one's talking about it. What was their game before that? Before Keeper? For whatever reason, my brain...
It wasn't Psychonauts 2, was it?
Yes, it was.
Something in... Was it?
Yeah, it was Psychonauts 2.
In between.
Which apparently is Double Fine's best-selling game. I don't know what that means, though.
Do we know what the sales numbers are, or is that another thing that Microsoft hasn't released?
Let's see. Psychonauts 2 sales numbers. 1.7 million copies. Which is okay.
Yeah. It's okay, but if that's your best selling game...
If that's your best selling...
And you are owned by a company that likes to, cast loose anyone who isn't making them tons and tons of money. Yeah.
I'd be curious to know how much that game cost. Can't be that much, right?
I don't know.
Halo Studios, I assume they're fine, as much as I would think they're in trouble, but I think they're fine. World's Edge is probably okay. I have no idea how their real-time strategy games sell, so I have no idea. I'm assuming they sell fine. Machine Games, they're probably fine. Blizzard's fine. Ninja Theory, we know, is in trouble. Rare. If it wasn't for Sea of Thieves, they'd be on the chopping block. That game is keeping them afloat. Ha ha ha, see what I did there? It's a boat game. Mojang's fine. Compulsion, we know they're in trouble. And id, they're probably fine. They got Doom.
Well, it is under Bethesda, so...
Yeah. But I guess they're considered separate. Because they always have the id logo in there for some reason when they do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the structuring is exactly.
Yeah. What else is under Bethesda? There's id. There's the Todd Howard team.
Oh god, I used to know a bunch of them, but I don't know if they're still around. Like, I don't know if Virtual is still around. They were like a mobile game division.
Studios under Bethesda.
Is Machine Games owned by Bethesda?
Yes.
I forget.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, so is Arcane. So
that's right. Yes.
So it's Arcane, Bethesda Game Studios, id, Machine Games. Oh, and ZeniMax, the ESO team.
Oh yeah, well ZeniMax was the company that owned Bethesda. Bethesda was like a game studio under the ZeniMax like umbrella.
Yeah. So. And now they're all under the
Xbox.
The Xbox brand. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we'll see what's happening, but I think the bomb is about to drop. I think they're in trouble over there, so our thoughts go out to everybody who is probably shitting their pants right now.
Yeah.
And I really hope that Asha Sharma, does what she says, does what she said she's going to do, and tries to find them all a home. Because can you imagine a world without Double Fine? That would suck.
Oh.
That would suck. All right. Xbox is not the only company in trouble this week. French developer Don't Nod will run out of cash as of November unless they find a new funding source. That's according to a new financial report by auditors for the firm published this month, which highlighted the dire straits the studio now finds itself in. Headquartered in Paris with a satellite studio in Montreal, Don't Nod is best known for creating the narrative adventure game series Life is Strange, though more recent entries have been made elsewhere. A spiritual successor, Lost Records Bloom and Rage, finally emerged in February 2025, but has underperformed. The company has been searching for a hit in recent years amid a string of releases that have failed to set tills ringing, including Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, which I have no idea what that is. Jusant, which I loved. Play Jusant, you fuckers. Banishers Ghost of New Eden, which I thought was pretty good. And this year's sci-fi action-adventure, Aphelion, which apparently did not do very well at all. Now, Don't Nod has been warned it has 5 months of capital remaining unless further investment is located imminently. The company is partly owned by Tencent though auditors have revealed that the Chinese conglomerate is no longer interested in providing further short-term funds. Again, if you're not making money, it's the same situation. and their games do not sell. So we'll see what happens. If they got to find a new publisher, basically, or they're done. They might be a studio for Sony to scoop up. I don't know. It's a tough one. But the games don't sell, so it's like, why would anyone buy them? I don't know. It's a weird one. I haven't played Aphelion, but I've heard it's a little rough. So that sucks. All thoughts go out to them. Hopefully they can figure out a way to survive. Also, it's not even a case sometimes of quality of the games. It's also a symptom of the market, which is that there's just so many games now. There's just they're spreading the amount of games thin or the amount of games thin to players. Like there's just too many games to play. Even if I was making the money that I used to make, where I was buying games every time they came out, day one, I wouldn't be able to afford that today because there's just so many fucking games. That's why I've reversed course and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get Game Pass and I'm going to get games from the library and I'm going to wait for super sales.
And there's just not enough hours in the day to play absolutely everything.
That's also true. Yeah, that's also true. All right, this next one is funny, I guess. I'm surprised it took this long. There's a new announcement today from EA, but it's not a fresh Battlefield or Titanfall game. Instead, the publishing giant has announced EA Advertising, a platform designed to place brands directly into its portfolio of popular sports titles such as Madden NFL and EA Sports FC. It goes into it, but essentially there's going to be real ads where there would be real ads in the sports games. Like
this is just what they did with Battlefield 2142, where there were billboards in that game that had real ads on them.
Dumb. It at least makes sense in a sports game because you see them anyway. Yeah. It's like instead of these fake ads or it's saying EA Sports across the whole banner, now it's going to be real ads. I don't really care one way or the other. It's a sports game. Sure. If that's another way that you can make money. Okay. At least it makes sense. At least it's not egregious. At least, unless they're in the menus, then I'll be annoyed. Then it's like, fuck off. If you want to be
or if it's like YouTube and you have to watch an ad before you can start a new.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah. If you want to put them in the background, in these stadiums, that makes sense to me. Or have like in how sports they have like a flash, sort of like an animation that's like instant replay, brought to you by, Sure. Yeah. Why not? It's already in the real thing. Might as well put it in the games.
It's already been in sports games for a long time, but now it's like it's a thing that can change dynamically as like new ads are loaded in from the internet. Because there have been games that had advertisements in them, but they were just unchanging. They were just always there.
Yeah.
Like I remember even Wave Race 64 had a bunch of Kawasaki ads in them because Kawasaki makes jet skis.
Yep.
They took those out in the Virtual Console release because that contract had expired. They replaced them with a bunch of Nintendo DS ads. It was wild to see Nintendo DS ads in an N64 game.
That is funny. Yeah. So, I find it funny that it took them this long. Quite frankly, I'm shocked that this wasn't a thing before. But yeah, so it's going to be a thing probably next year is my guess is when that's going to be rolled out.
Yeah, not going to make the games any cheaper though.
And probably not going to make them any better either because they kind of suck. They kind of suck. All right. And I guess the second biggest news of the week, I guess, kind of, sort of. GTA cover artwork has been revealed and the pre-order date has been announced. June 25th is when pre-orders will start, which is basically...
There's that helicopter.
Yeah,
there's always a helicopter in the top left.
Yeah, except this one has a chain gun on it for some reason.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
So assumedly, June 25th, we're probably going to get the price, finally. And we're probably going to get a trailer, is my guess. So why wouldn't you do that to sell your product? So are we going to get gameplay finally instead of in-engine stuff? Are we going to get a price? I don't know. So here's my hope. My hope is that they price this game at $80 US so that everyone else can just shut the fuck up and stop pricing their games so high. Like Nintendo charging $80 for Mario Kart World. Go fuck yourselves. That's ridiculous. $80 US? What is that in Canadian? Like $110? Let's see. 80 US to Canadian. Yeah, $112. Like, fuck that. I'm not paying $112 for Mario Kart World. Are you what? So I hope that they price this.
I can't pay that much for Mario Kart World, even if I wanted to.
Yeah, like no, I'm not paying that. That's ridiculous. Now, does it make sense for a game like this? Maybe, but if they come in and they say this is what we're worth, fuck off with the rest of you. Like the rest, you can't tell me that your price of your game is worth the same price as a game that took $2 billion to make. I'm sorry. Time to lower your prices, guys. So that's my hope, is that tells everyone to back the fuck off. But my fear is that this is going to be even higher, and we're going to get like a $99 US game for the first time. And, that would be a nightmare. Wouldn't prevent people from buying it though, which is why it would be a nightmare. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. This is, I mean, I don't know if you remember Halo 3. Obviously you remember the game, but like the hubbub and the hype and the mainstream hype around this game.
Oh yeah, I remember it quite well.
Fucking everywhere, dude. That is going to be nothing compared to this game. This game is going to be everywhere. You're not going to go 10 feet through a mall without seeing a GTA 6 advertisement somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nut.
Probably not going to be on bags of Doritos, though.
Why not?
I don't know if Doritos would be like, yeah, we want the game where you can beat up prostitutes to be on our product. I mean, they're both M-rated, but for different reasons.
Oh, come on. This will be on Donald Trump's lawn. There'll be a sign out there. Purchase GTA 6.
I'm surprised they don't sell ad space on the White House, honestly.
Oh, it's coming. Don't you worry. They just did UFC.
Yeah.
Ads are coming. Don't you worry. Oh, God. And then I didn't mention this, but Xbox did have their Wave 2 Game Pass lineup revealed, and it's kind of weak, which is weird. Call of Duty Vanguard, June 17th, so that's already out on Game Pass. EA Sports FC 26, already out on Game Pass. Abyssus? What the hell is that? Abyssus? I have no idea what that is. Abyssus. From Double Moose. Discover the secrets of an ancient underwater civilization as you blast your way through Abyssus, a fast-paced roguelike FPS. Okay.
I don't know.
Never heard of that. RV there yet? June 30th. Or sorry, Abyssus is June 25th. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4. It's the remake of 3 and 4. July 2nd. And Winds of Arcana Ruination. July 6th. Pretty weak. That's it. Pretty weak. There's only a list twice that long, so it's pretty weak. I'm not sure what's going on there. Games leaving Xbox is probably bigger. Mecha Break, Payday 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Slay the Spire, Ultimate Chicken Horse. I remember that game. Mm-hmm. Volcano Princess and Unpacking are all leaving Xbox at the end of June. And that's all for the news. Whew. Man. That was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to...
Let's go.
Let's go. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, I have no idea what I'm looking at.
Let me see. Can I...
It looks like maybe water on the edge of a boat, maybe?
Maybe. But it's...
You know what, I'm just going to guess, just for shits and giggles, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. I don't think it is.
How could it possibly be that? That isn't out yet.
Oh, sorry, Modern Warfare. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is what I was trying to say. 88%. That's a bush and a waterfall. No idea.
Still not getting anything from it.
Well, this looks like Call of Duty. Black Ops?
World at War?
Oh yeah, World at War. Oh, it's not Call of Duty.
Oh no, we know it's not Call of Duty because you already put it in.
Modern Warfare. Fuck.
Yeah.
That was
a Battlefield, maybe,
Medal of Honor.
or maybe Medal of Honor.
This is a tactical shooter. That's weird. Yeah, the hand doesn't look like Battlefield. Battlefield, you normally have like a camo on or something, right?
I mean, but that's like that's looking like a World War II weapon. With the wood furniture.
Yeah. I also got to reverse my brain to that era. PS3. Was there even a Medal of Honor in that era? I thought that was PS2 era. We haven't seen a Medal of Honor in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's go with Battlefield. I don't know which one it would be though. Was there any single player Battlefield games?
Battlefield 2? Let's just try that.
Oh, it is a Battlefield game.
Oh, it is a Battlefield game. Okay.
2010. So that would be late PS3. Battlefield 3 then.
Sure.
I don't know anything about those games though. Oh, or 4. Oh, 4.
Let's go with 3.
Nope. Last guess.
I guess 4.
Bad Company 2. Okay, no, I wouldn't have got that. Bad Company was a good game though. I don't think I played 2. I may have, but
I think did I play? I know I played one of the Bad Company games, but I don't remember it looking like this.
Because I think 1 was in Vietnam. I think 2.
I remember it being set in like the modern day. Like they even had a thing where they made fun of Call of Duty. They're like, "Oh, we're not a bunch of pussies with heartbeat sensors on our gun."
That's right. I don't remember. Might have to go look at that. Oh fuck!
I remember that game had a lot of dust.
Yeah, it was very, very dusty. Very cool explosions and stuff.
Like bullets would hit the ground and they'd throw up like realistic clouds of dust, but it also got dusty really, really fast.
Kind of like Black. Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Some kind of column or pillar, sort of support structure, but
it's kind of got a veil guard look to it. So I'm gonna go
a vaulted ceiling or something.
79. What is that green thing?
Is that like a cursor, crosshair, or something like that?
No, I don't think so. It looks like a plant, which is weird because it's in snow.
There's too fuzzy to tell.
There's UI definitely at the bottom sticking out a little bit. You can see that.
Yeah, something, but can't tell what it is.
Ooh, current gen.
Well, it's something that I haven't played because if I had, I'd recognize that enemy. It seems like the kind of thing you'd be like, oh yeah, it's one of those enemies.
Snow with those enemies. Yeah, I don't know. What was the score? 79? Huh. I don't know.
Neither do I.
A rhythm shooter. Oh, is this
God.
Metal Bringer or something like that?
Fuck. Metal Hellsinger? Maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, I was like Metal Bringer, Metal Hero. Yeah, it's a weird game.
Yeah.
I'm not a good rhythm game person, which is really strange because I have rhythm. I just don't have it in video games for some reason. Oh my god, what am I looking at?
Oh god.
Is this egg yolk?
This could be like a million things, like some kind of visual effect, some kind of Oh fuck, I don't know. We're gonna have to go to the next one. I still don't know what this is.
This gives me. It's not going to be Gazillionaire. Remember Gazillionaire?
No.
Oh shit. Okay. It was like a space trading game where you travel from planet to planet, learning like how to sell like buy things for cheap and sell them for a lot of money.
No, don't remember it.
Dreamcast. Is it Space Station Channel 5 or whatever?
Channel 5?
Oh, there's... Oh. Okay, it is. Good. I don't know there was a VR game. That's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, I never played this
They
game.
had Michael Jackson in this game.
Fucking weird game, man. Weird game.
Okay, it's a brick wall. Stone brick wall.
A very flat brick wall. Just kind of ends. Very zoomed in, I think. I got nothing.
Neither do I.
93. Oh, it's Twilight Princess, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be. It looks too good. But try it, sure.
No, it's not. Oh, it's Smash Brothers.
Okay.
Smash Brothers. What is it? Brawl?
Yep.
That explains why it was Twilight Princess.
Yeah,
it was the level.
The Bridge of Eldin level. Yeah.
I actually liked Brawl a lot. Melee's the only one that I didn't like.
I played it, but then when I played it like right before Smash 4 came out, so
Smash 4
my memories of it are kind of
Smash for Wii U.
Yeah. My memories of it are kind of mixed together with that, so
Okay, we got a lot here.
Some kind of ornate fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And like a, what do they call it? That pattern, fencing.
Yeah, like privacy fencing almost kind of looks like.
Yeah. Oh God, what's it called? It's not crosshatch, but it's like woven like a crosshatch.
I think this is somebody. I think this is a person. I think they're wearing this because this looks like one of those like not shinobi hats, but like those samurai hats that come down.
Maybe.
I think it's just really zoomed in.
Not gonna get it from this. We need more information.
We're not gonna get it from that. How do you go from that screenshot to this one?
Yeah, don't know.
Whoa, cross-gen PS3, PS4.
This is not helping.
Oh, kind of. We got a little cursor here. A little hand.
I guess.
And some like blue, very, very distinct looking blue and like a feather.
I still have no idea.
Examine Corpse. It's an adventure game.
That looks like a map.
What does?
It looks like a map on a table.
Where? No, that's
wait,
blood. It's a pool of blood.
It's a blood stain.
Yeah, there's a knife right there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the corpse is like behind the text, I think.
I was interpreting it as like a faded parchment map with like a knife stuck in, like this is our destination kind of thing.
I got you.
Yeah.
This cursor looks familiar.
I don't recognize it. I don't think I've played this.
Is this Sinking City?
God.
Or is that too early?
I think it's too early. I don't recognize this at all.
I'll put it in.
You can try it, though.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. A map of London. Whoa.
I have no idea what this is.
What is this? This looks cool, though. Could this be like a detective Sherlock game?
I don't know.
He's from London, right?
I have
Sherlock
no
Holmes,
idea.
Crimes and Punishments. Got it.
I've never heard of that game.
It rings
I've never heard of this game in my life. You were just like, London, maybe it's a Sherlock Holmes game. Take the first one on the list. That was luck. That was 100% luck.
Oh, that looks really familiar. I think it's Outer Worlds. The ship, I think.
I've never played Outer Worlds, so
I think it's got the color palette. That's not Outwater.
Outwater. Jesus, do you have a stroke there?
Nope, Nope, 85%. What am I looking at?
This is not helpful. It's like a green cave.
It looks like a different game. I have no idea. Xbox One exclusive? What? I didn't think it had any. What?
I still don't know what this is.
What the shit? I mean, this screenshot kind of looks like, oh, what's that mining game with the dwarves? Deep Rock Galactic. But I don't think it was an Xbox One exclusive originally. Pretty sure it wasn't. I mean, I'll guess it just in case, but I don't think it was. Oh, it was.
Oh.
Good to know. It came everywhere, though. Wow. That's crazy. It definitely didn't have a compass like that I remember. The UI has definitely changed since then. Great game. Great game. All right, final one. Ooh, old school looking here.
That almost looks like a camouflage pattern with how few colors are used.
Is this a porcupine? What is this?
I think it's some kind of plant. Maybe? Like fungus growing on a rock? Is this like an Oddworld game?
Isn't
like
this a tree?
In?
This looks like a tree, though. Like it's like sitting.
Maybe.
Oh, I guess it could be top down. It looks side scrolly to me.
Yeah, like I was saying, like maybe it's like Oddworld or something.
Well, what's an Oddworld? An old Oddworld game. I have no idea. Abe's Odyssey? Is that the old one?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Oh, whoa. What the hell?
Okay.
But it has a Metacritic score.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. That suggests it's more recent than we're thinking, but
yeah, here, let me find out. How old does Metacritic go back? At least 2001, apparently. Which is weird because we've seen
earlier stuff.
Well, yeah, but we've seen newer stuff that wasn't rated though. I could have sworn. Like we've had N64 games that don't have a Metacritic. I could have sworn. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's skip this because I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh,
it's Donkey Kong Country.
Wow.
3.
Oh God, yeah, it can't be 1 or 2 because I would know it. So it's got to be the shitty one. Yep.
It's not shitty.
It's shitty. It's
no,
terrible.
It's not.
That game sucks. Look at these fucking Dumbo-ass characters. Who is it?
It's not as good, but it's not shitty.
Oh God! Look at this idiot. Look at this idiot. Give me Diddy and Donkey. Who the fuck are you? Give me that look.
I mean, he's basically Donkey Kong in terms of his gameplay.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job. Good job. And that brings us to the end of Press Pause Gaming Podcast, episode 96. If you want to follow me on the socials, I'm at TJ-Leo on BlueSky.
I am at a Ninjas on BlueSky.
You can email us, just like Josh did, at co.op.podcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Join us on the Co-op Club Discord community server where you can find myself and so many others talking about gaming, wrestling, and more. And, of course, patreon.com/co-op entertainment, where you can throw us $1 a month to help support the channel. Greatly appreciate you. Until next time, get back to gaming.
No, don't. Never game again. You'll only bring yourself pain as you find that your old favorites turn out to suck.